Welcome to Natural 6!
Yay!
This is session 2 of Natural 6. If you missed our previous episode, it'll be available by now. I mean, this is the future. We're talking about the future, but it's available now on YouTube.
Go watch it.
It's available on podcast. You might even be listening to this. That's very exciting. Shall we get straight into playing some Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes!
Let's do that D&D thing. Last time, you began on the slopes of Mount Atria, a day short of the mountain's peak, on a mission accompanying the Antiqua, the greatest clerics of Reliquiae, as they make pilgrimage to the virtuous. Huddled around 2 small campfires, the party, along with Morgan, a web agent sent to work alongside you, began to rouse themselves as the sun rose. Radian had woken up profoundly miffed and suspicious of the unknown person filling his pack with Kelnis's hand-whittled spoons. It was Dolly. As the Antiqua stirred, Radian told Grornoth, Dwarven cleric of Ullin, to hurry along his fellows. When Grornoth urged a little patience, Radian left the group again in a huff and gazed down towards the base of the mountain where the Festival of Benediction was being prepared. You watched as the Antiqua completed a religious ceremony in which Runa, a cleric of the orc goddess Norvar, reluctantly read from the Remnants, the most sacred text of Reliquiae. Sensing her nerves, Dolly and I applauded, I the character, not I the me, applauded as the orc finished her reading to the displeasure of Barabask, the elven cleric of the goddess Thealon. Radian attempted to smooth things over and ended up claiming to be the leader of the group, a statement Morgan took issue with.
2 for 2.
Sorry. 2 for 2. It was a bad start.
Had a morning.
You began the climb, Barabask breaking into terrible insistent song as Grornoth struggled to maintain his composure, ruminating with Dolly on the nature of truth and lies. I, the character not the me, watched as the Cobalt cleric attempted to ingratiate themselves with their fellows, even going so far as to be given a name, something unheard of in Cobalt culture. Up at the head of the party, Endelian, Kelnis, and Morgan bonded over a shared love of trees, with Morgan being persuaded to attempt to climb a nearby oak before face planting into the trunk.
Persuaded, he was so ready.
He wasn't persuaded, he was given permission.
I was preparing I was readying my broom to knock him out of the tree.
You had the fire brigade on speed dial.
He woke up in the morning going, I hope I get to climb a tree.
We've been walking past an awful lot of trees. As the climb continued, you encountered a quizzical bear before approaching and entering a thick cloud line, vision obscured, dampness on your skin. You became disorientated and began to surround the Antiqua should things take a turn for the worse. They did. Emerging from the cloud line, you found yourselves on a darkened plateau, the ground dead around your feet, plant life decayed, and 6 wolves emerged, stricken by some kind of necrotic blight, and attacked. Shielding the Antiqua, you fought against these creatures, Morgan falling as Grornoth argued for his fellow clerics to intercede, though he was shouted down. Eventually, ignoring his contemporaries, Grornoth cast Mass Healing Word, but the spell fizzled in his hand. All of the Antiqua followed suit, all their spells failing, their magic somehow not working here on this darkened plateau above the cloud line. Then, eventually, Grornoth, Carvilius, the dragonborn cleric of Aurum, and Runa leapt into combat, and with their limited help, you destroyed the last of the beasts. And as the battle ended, it dawned on the clerics what this failure of divine magic might mean, that the divine themselves were in danger, or perhaps even worse. You rushed up a great staircase towards a blackened palace, colours streaking the sky above it, and found the lifeless body of Aurum, dragonborn god of justice And that's where we are now. Carvilius still cradling the body of his god. And you see her, centering power again in her hand. This looks to be a more powerful spell. In fact, she's trying to cast Revivify, a spell that can bring people back from the dead. She pushes it into the body of the god, and you see her fingers, her clawed hands, her scales growing briefly with divine light, and then it retracts into the hand, and all of the clerics, all the Antiqua, are moving in, trying to put magic into this lifeless body. Everybody roll me perception checks, please. Let's start this end, Dolly. 10.
13.
13 for I. Kelnis?
19.
19.
18.
18 for Endelian.
9.
And a 9 for Radiant. So, Kelnis and Endelian, maybe a little more battle-hardened than the others. You've been around the block a little bit. And in this moment of panic, in this moment of like deep and profound grief from the Antiqua, these ancient beings, they've been around forever, and yet they are completely blindsided by what they're experiencing. You have the wherewithal to look around you and take in your surroundings more than the others. And as you look up, you see by now these familiar colors that are streaking across the sky. And you take in the fact that you are on a sort of a raised plaza, and that there are great structures all around you, but crumbled, decaying. And rather than the decay that you saw in Alvelion, the divine city where the gods once lived and have now abandoned, that feels as if the city is crumbling. This feels as if it has been almost exploded, as if there was a sudden rush of something which destroyed, crumbled the stones. And from where you are, from your vantage point, you can see 9 towers that surround 3 kind of larger buildings, all of them crumbling, all of them decaying. And there's a stillness on the plaza. And then Gronoth says, "The others." And you watch as it dawns on each of these clerics that they need to find their gods. And they start running. You see right next to you, right next to the plaza, there is a single tower to your left, and then there's a walkway, a raised walkway above the peak, which goes away to your right, and that feeds off to 2 separate towers that kind of go to the left and right as you go along this walkway. And Gronoth runs up towards the one on the left, and Runa pushes past everybody, and you see her shoulder charge the fractured door, the wooden door that sits at the base of this tower. Where do you guys want to go? The Antiqua at this point are kind of flooding around all over the place.
I'd like to follow the tiefling.
Okay. So, does anyone else want to do anything different?
I'm going to follow the human.
I'm going to follow the Pavas.
You're going to follow Pavas, okay. What about you, Calnus?
I think, given that our room is gone, I think I'm going to go check on Theolon,
Okay.
the Elven god.
Yep. And what about you, Radiant?
I'm going to Gronoth.
You're going with Gronoth. Okay.
Bestie.
Yeah.
I'm just going to write this down.
Sorry, split the party.
No, it's absolutely
Where did
fine. So
Gronoth go?
we're gonna split the party. We're gonna split the party for the very first time.
6
to
ways,
his
5 ways.
Yeah.
to his own place. It went to the left, I think, is what he said.
He did indeed. I is going after
He went to the Dwarven
Pavas,
god.
Yeah.
and Kelnis is going after. Great. So, let's all roll initiative just to see which of these people we're going to follow first, and whose story we're going to follow first.
Not me.
Is
Anyone-
it straight roll or are we adding initiative?
Yeah, add initiative to
Okay.
it. Yeah. So, anyone get above a 20?
Yep.
What did you get, Ian? What did you get, Kelnis?
23.
23 as well.
Okay, who's got the higher dexterity modifier? In fact, I don't even need to ask. That will be I. So we will go I, and then we'll go Kelnis. 15 to 19.
I got a 17.
Great. Then we'll go Dolly, and then a 10 to 14.
14.
We'll go Radiant, and then we'll finish with Endelian. Okay. Oh, in fact, Morgan. Morgan is also. I mean, we're not going to follow Morgan's story. That would be frankly insane. But Morgan dashes off, following Genevieve, the human cleric. So I. You see that while the others are really dashing, there is an almost reluctance in the way that Pavas is sort of allowing people, please, sort of getting out of people's way, allowing them to get past him. And as everyone else is running over this first raised walkway, Grornoth you see followed by Radian into one, Runa smashing the door down to your right. You see Malachine, the tiefling cleric, with Dolly in hot pursuit. You see Endelian, who is going to be going along with Morgan, in fact, to following Genevieve, and then you see Kelnis, who runs after Barabask. Pavas is moving a little slower. Roll me an insight check.
That is an 18.
Okay, it's 18. You don't sense knowledge. You don't sense that Pavas knows something other people don't, or that they are unsurprised by this, but they do not seem as immediately stricken with grief. And they move over this first walkway. And the first thing that you enter is this great building, which you think probably would have been a banqueting hall. There's this great wooden table carved from a single piece of what would you think have been, would have been kind of a light wood, but now looks not charred, but blackened. Just like the stones, just like the wolves, blighted, strange. And they make their way through this. You see above there's this ceiling, a glass ceiling, the last remnants of what would have been stained glass clinging to the frame, and the floor is a carpet of twisted, warped, burnt glass, the colours fading almost to black. And Pavas walks through that over another walkway into another wide open plaza, and you can hear clerics calling out to their gods. You speak common, and you can hear Genevieve calling out for Ignace. Yet Pavas continues in this measured pace. I'm going to roll for them. Turns around and sees you on this second plaza, and looks, just sort of holds your gaze, stops, looks at you. And you see what you saw before. The posture doesn't feel kobold-like. The way that they're looking at you, holding themselves, this looks at you, and then there's this reluctance almost to meet your eye. And says that, well, if you was coming. And then turns and walks into another large building, a great, extraordinary building, which, again, the walls kind of falling apart, crumbling as if something has gone off in here. There was once an almost conical ceiling that you can see, these twisting mosaics that rise up within this conical ceiling, tapering to a point. And there's a cold, what was a spent fire pit in the center of that space. And continuing, Pavas checks over his shoulder, continues with you, and then walks into a the largest room you've come into so far. A stone circular table, 9 stone seats at its center. Roll me perception.
That is just an 8. Sorry.
An 8, okay. You move through this room and down one more narrow passageway, and you come to a final tower. And the door is sort of off its hinges, and Pavas peers inside, and you hear him say, "It is, I'm here. It is I am here." And makes his way into the tower. Do you want to follow?
Absolutely.
Okay. You go into the tower. It's a single circular room. Roll me perception.
Not 20.
Okay. The first thing you notice, there's no body in here. You haven't passed the body of themself, the Cobalt deity. And this room, unlike every other space you've gone into, doesn't seem to have been... There's still the effects of structurally what's happened, but it hasn't been turned over, it hasn't been ransacked. And you look at Pavas, and Pavas looks as perplexed as you initially look. They are looking round, trying to... He sort of reluctantly drops back into a more kobold. "We is here." Speaking Draconic in this, so it has that slightly less stilted delivery than in common. "We is here. We have come to attend you. A great darkness has fallen on the palace. We is here. We brings another." And there's no response.
I'm not going to speak Cobalt with them because it doesn't feel right to me because this is still sitting in the Uncanny Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say, what is a Pavas?
He turns to you and says, in common, "Pavas is my name."
And then I want to say, what does a Pavas know?
Roll me persuasion.
11.
11. Pavas knows enough. Pavas knows little of what Pavas sees here. Roll me insight.
Not 20.
You don't feel like they're lying. He seems as transparent as he can be. You know that the Antiqua are... I mean, some people say the Antiqua are as old as Reliquiae. But no one's ever really aged them. They haven't aged. They've sort of... You've seen... you might have seen portraits of them or heard stories of how they look. You might have heard that Theon has golden hair. You might have heard that, Genevieve is this sort of stately... You might have heard about the silver hair of Barabask or the bright green skin of Runa. And those are typically... Certainly the orcish skin sort of darkens as it ages. Runa's skin is bright green still. So you're not aware of of them ever having aged. So Pavas looks your age. But Pavas can't be. And so... Yeah, he's been around. They've been around for a long time. But you don't get the sense that they know what's happening now. You don't get the sense they're deceiving you or keeping something from you.
I want to ask, why is a Pavas?
dignity.
I doesn't fully understand this because it's a concept that isn't really a thing for a kobold. There is simply the tribe, and there is simply what works best for everyone, and the kind of unity. I kind of gets the sense that that's not, this line of questioning isn't maybe going to get much further right now in this moment, and I would like to just have a look around just investigate the space.
Roll me an investigation check.
It's a 3.
Okay. You look around. No books. You wouldn't expect books. You wouldn't expect scrolls in a kobold space. There are little wooden carvings, evidence of cooking, evidence of what you back home would have spent your downtime doing. Kobold stuff. Natural, functional, occasionally beautiful things. But it doesn't strike you as like a scholarly room, or the room of an academic, or an apothecarist, or an apothecary, or anything like that. It's like they've tried to recreate a cave in here.
I want to turn back to Pavas and say, why was a Pavas slow?
Roll me. I'm going to say Pavas is sufficiently unsettled by being with you in this space and by what's happened that you can roll persuasion with advantage. So roll twice, take the highest.
15.
15. Pavas and himself had for a long time not seen the world in the same way. It was hard for Pavas to be so alone. It is.
I wants to say, a Pavas is alone. You is not alone.
Roll me again persuasion with advantage.
12.
There's
Sorry, 13.
13. Oh, well. There's the sort of barest little incline of the head, and then very slowly, the hand comes up from Pavas in this kobold greeting. Puts their hand out like this, their head down.
I touches their palm.
We's good.
We is.
We will take that. Let's cut over to Kelnis. So Kelnis, you are following Barabask. And Barabask, unused to moving this quickly, you sense a sort of hyperventilation. You can sense this panic as he makes his way over these high parapets, over the first walkway, again through this banqueting hall, shards of twisted, burnt glass. And then they again go over to this next walkway, and then plaza. Barabask has not looked back. Barabask is one-track mind. And there is a tower, and you speak Elvish, right? So you hear, see Barabask goes to push on the door, and pushes on the door, pushes with all of his strength, and can't do it. And you hear you hear him in Elvish saying, my goddess, please, my goddess, my... And he can't get the door open.
And I say in Elvish, friend.
And he turns around and looks at you, and you see his face is streaked with tears. Like, he is preemptively broken by what he thinks he's going to see. And he looks at you, and the haughtiness is... He doesn't have time for it. There's no space for regality or status or hierarchy. And he says, help me. And pushes again on the door.
And I go to help.
Great. You want to try and bust it open? What do you want to try and do?
I think that I will just try adding my considerable size and mass to his effort.
Roll me a strength check. You can roll with advantage because Barabask is helping you. So you can roll twice and take the highest score.
Just strength.
Yeah. So it will... Oh, actually, it's an athletics check. So use your athletics skill. So it will be your strength modifier, unless you have proficiency, in which case you'll have...
It's the same. So that's 21 and a 22.
You know what? That is enough to open a door.
It's 2 doors.
You open the door. The whole the tower collapses.
Tankness is here again.
So you almost... Your strength is so great that Barabask almost stumbles in. And this place is... this place has been utterly destroyed. There was on the far wall is a mural of a great tree towering over a range of mountains. And that has been rent and somehow obscured. Roll me Arcana.
21.
It's this is like a magical effect. I mean, holy hell.
You rolled 218, an 18 and 219.
18 and 219.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you not roll again for a while? Can we change? Right, I have a load of d20s here. I can pick the worst one for you.
You see the whole of
Yeah. You see that this has been this is a magical effect. This isn't someone hitting it with a sword or slamming a hammer into it. This is like someone's cast magic here. Someone has been capable of casting magic here, and it has destroyed this room. There are you see that there's like a sort of a beautiful, once beautiful stringed instrument that has been obliterated. Strings hanging from a head, all curling away like twisted hair. You see that there are just piles of torn parchment that look to have sort of verse written on them. Roll me an investigation check.
You sure you want me to?
I think you have to. I think I have to let you.
19.
Okay.
It's 21 with
He's not
modifier.
even lying.
Please.
He's apologizing.
You know what? I didn't prep for you to do badly. I prepped for you to do well.
Oh, good.
Let me see if I've actually got this
That's
immediately.
insane.
To hand. You find
You've been
something.
rolling badly.
You find something among the mess. Again, there is no body here. I mean, you don't know that, again, there is no body. But there isn't a body here.
Yeah.
But you do find you do find a set of chain mail. I'm going to give this to you. This can obviously be given to whoever in the party, but it is Elven chainmail. It adds 1 to your AC, and you are considered proficient in it, even if you cannot wear armor, and it does not impede your ability to cast spells. You see this beautiful set of shimmering Elven chain, magical enough that it alone has escaped the blast, I suppose.
Wow.
And Barabask turns to you and says, "She's not here. She's not. That could mean something, couldn't it? That means she might not be. It might not have happened to her.
We should look further.
Yes. You're right. Of course. Yes, we should look further. And Barabask dashes out of the door and starts to run back towards that main plaza.
Okay. So anybody can wear this chain now?
Anybody can
Doesn't
wear
matter
this
what
chain now.
class?
Doesn't matter what class, doesn't matter what they do.
Well, since there's no one to give it to at the moment, I'm just going to shrug it on.
Yeah. So you stick it on and it fits. You can temporarily add one to your armor class.
These trees running off and kills.
We should look further.
Time's a wasted.
I mean, she's not here, so we may just get dressed.
And then I follow.
You'd like to follow. Okay, so you start to make your way back to the plaza. Roll me perception on your way back there, because it would be great to just finish the story. And given how you're rolling,
It's 13.
13. Okay, even with a 13, you see two things. You see Pavas coming back with I'm assuming that you would start to make your way back. Actually, I don't know if I asked. Did you want to hang around and see more things?
With my 2 on investigation, if there's any I'm leaving a place which is belong to my deity, a sacred place. Anything that I could just take on the way out that isn't that, even if it's crumbling or
You're not getting any armor.
Yeah.
No, not any armor. Let's say a wooden whittle sword.
Write that in my
Perhaps
notes.
could there be 36 forks?
Yeah. Maybe something I could come back with. A moon of some sort.
I'll tell you what.
No, he doesn't get anything. He doesn't get anything just because he asked.
Easy, my selector. I tell you what
I
I'll do.
did say with my 2.
Roll.
Even if it's something that's...
I will say that initial investigation check is about you taking in the room. You've had this moment with Pavas. It's settled you. It has calmed you to some extent. You can roll me one more investigation check.
okay, it's 15.
Okay. And
You get
guess
some
what?
bread. You get some
Oh
bread.
my
Guess what?
god!
Got some little treats.
What?
Hey, I said with my
Tell
2.
me who your favourite is, but telling me who your favourite is.
The two people who've so far had rolls. You just wait. There might be stuff where you're going.
Not the way we roll.
Because I'm not going to lie, when I said I wanted to look around and then I rolled a 2, there was some behind your eye that just went...
So, you know the story of themselves in the Divine War. You know that themselves made their way into the halls of the Vile and the Wild in disguise and worked almost as a spy, for want of a better word. And that was their role within the war. And you've heard stories of some of the things that were used to do that. And one of the things is a cloak that can change its design, not its form, but its design. And you see a cloak that matches that description. So this is something called the Cloak of Many Fashions. And as a bonus action, it can change its color, its style, and its apparent quality. But it can only ever look like a cloak. And if it takes on the appearance of a magical cloak, it doesn't become magical. But if you wanted to have a cloak that would make you look like a member of the city guard because they wear cloaks, that's how that works.
Okay.
Little treasures. Little treasures.
Treats.
Little treats.
Treats and gifts.
You say to the empty room, thank you, Zepstar.
You literally just took you just took someone else's...
Hey, we're looting the gods,
listen.
Literally eating gods.
Take an armor that is not even of his grace.
Let's see what happened when Delia gets
They're
to
like a
Hurricane Road.
communal, they're a sort of weirdly agrarian, anarchic, egalitarian system. Property is theft.
If Delian finds this beautiful sword, she chooses not to take it and go back.
I didn't say that.
Just saying.
Roll perception on your way back.
That is 18.
An 18, okay. So you spot something on your way back. You see the source of this color. Beyond the temple space that you were in with a conical ceiling, and beyond this great, almost like a high council hall with the stone chairs and the stone table. There, you can see sort of two small buildings next to each other, two tiny, almost chambers, low ceilinged. And you see that the ceiling of one of them has been obliterated. And you can see that that is where these colours are emanating from. And with the 13 Kelness, you don't see that, but you do as you come out and you're on the plaza. Both of you reach that second plaza. You see I coming back with Pavas, and you see I staring at the source of this light. And you join him in looking, and the two of you looking at the source of this light. We're going to go now to Dolly. So Dolly, you are following Malachine. And Malachine on the way up the tower has always felt like the most kind of sardonic, taking this sort of the least seriously. A little bit like you, like the most likely of the group to mess about. You never seen her move so fast. Like she is booking it over this first parapet, through the banqueting hall, these shards of glass. The next roll, are you trying to kind of?
I'm kind of gonna I'm trying to keep up. I'm not very athletic, but I'm going, wait, what? Wait, stop. What caused it? What could cause this? What's happening?
She looks at you with a kind of. I've got no idea. You know, if I knew that, then we'd be ahead of where we are. But all I know now is that I want to get there. I need to see him.
Okay, let's go.
And you also pass through this second plaza, this conical-shaped building, and then into the council room, and you turn right, and there is, before you even reach the door, you see that it's the doorway. You see there's no door. The hinges remain, one kind of hanging in position, the other one almost pushed back, and there's blood on the steps leading up to it. And you see Malachine brings her hand up to her mouth and starts to slowly walk up the steps. And there's a body on the floor. And it's a purple-skinned tiefling. It's unmistakably the body of Alakash, the tiefling god. And roll me perception on the room. See what you take in.
11.
11. It is full of kind of bound books, the pages rent out of them. It's like a carpet of pages, and the blood from this tiefling, from this god, is sort of spreading out, almost like ink blots, spreading out around the pages. And Malachine turns to you and with this sort of 1,000-yard stare and says, "Can you do something? Can you try and do something?"
I can try. I'll use my last spell slot to cast Healing Word, see if that does anything at all.
Before you even try to cast it,
Okay.
You kind of put it into the body. Body's dead. It's like trying to bring a stone back. It's not that your magic isn't divine magic. It's not like it fizzles in the same way, but there's nothing, and she looks at you and just shakes her head. And there's just silence. For all her, you didn't speak to her that much coming up the mountain, but there was always, wherever Malachine was, there'd be a little cluster of chuckling. There'd be like a little cluster of laughter because she'd done something. She'd kind of knocked someone down a peg, or she'd been irreverent. You'd never hear her moaning about the steepness of the climb. You'd never hear her talking about grumbling in any way about the early starts. She loved the rites. She gave the rites on the first day, the thing that you saw Runa do. They lasted for like 45 minutes because you knew she was riffing. Like you could sense in the group that the other Antiqua were looking around and going, oh, she's making stuff up again. And that has always been part of this sort of tiefling storytelling culture that like the story is really more important than the truth behind it. And she seems to have been, she's sunk. It's like she's sunken. It's like there's that light and that lightness has gone.
I just put a hand on her shoulder and said, just let her have a moment, but just ask, what could have done this?
Roll me a persuasion check. I think her guard is down sufficiently.
That's 22.
She, without looking up, without thinking about it, almost as an instinct says, only one of them. Only one of them. And then sort of recovers and looks at you and says, I don't know. Nothing. Nothing really.
Is there any distinguishable marks on the body about what was the method of?
Roll me investigation. Or you can roll Arcana. If you can take whichever's higher.
They're both the same. 11.
There's marks of weapons, but there also seem to be marks that are not melee marks, not slashing and bludgeoning and piercing, but they're there as well. But this was something powerful. There was like a great power that did this. What did you roll? Arcana or investigation?
Arcana.
Okay, roll me an investigation on the ring.
Okay. 14.
Okay. Yeah. You look around the room and you see among the papers there's one thing that's glimmering that catches your eye, and it's a small ring. I will let you, I've tried to sort of read that. I've tried to write that so it makes a bit of sense. But essentially it is a ring of the orator, which has 6 charges and it allows you to be heard by every creature within a mile. So if you ever need to speak to a great mass of people, it's, that tiefling tradition, that tiefling faith is all about storytelling. And this is something that would allow you to be heard. Malakine just isn't moving.
With the investigation roll, is there anything to be ascertained from the pages that are strewn around? Are they his fables, or is there anything?
They are his fables. They're his fables, and they look to be, as you look through them, you see there's a certain story in his fables, and his fables is the religious text of the tieflings. There's a certain story that he has about fooling a member of the Vile into drinking poison, and it's really famous. And he does it by, in the version that you've read, by filling both cups and then moving one cup, and it's that sort of thing. And you find multiple versions of this story, all of them different. Like, there's certain ones in which it's a poison dart. There's others in which he holds the poison in his own mouth for 10 years to gain immunity to it, and then spits it into a cup and throws it in the face. And so what you get this sense of is again, just this sort of endless, playful bigging up of his own brilliance. They're the pages that you see. Let's at this point, Malakine just sort of rouses herself just enough to pick up the body of Alakash and starts to move back through the council room. and starts to carry it back to that first plaza.
Can I see any of the others? Are there any
Yeah,
ones?
as you hit that second plaza, roll me perception.
17.
17, right. You see Kelnis. Their Antiqua have left the Antiqua at this point and making their way back to that first plaza. You can see that you in particular with the 17 actually, the gnome and the halfling are carrying bodies. And they're also bringing them back to the first plaza. There seems to be this kind of natural, like the tide coming in of these bodies being returned. So you see that, you see Iron Kelnis, and you also see what they're staring at, which is this source of light.
How far away are they?
How far away are?
At Kelnis and I.
They're just at the other side of the plaza. Maybe they're only probably 30 feet from you.
I'll use message I'll cast message to, what it does is I can speak directly to your mind, and you can reply once, but I'll just speak to them to say there's more than one. I'll say that too.
Now we'll cut over to Radiant. And you want to follow Gronoth.
Yeah, but I want to not be seen.
Okay, roll me a stealth check.
16.
16. Gronoth is completely unaware of anything that's going on around him.
Yeah.
And he slams down the door of this first tower, barely over the walkway. And do you speak Dwarvish?
No.
Do you hear, like Dwarvish has this kind of almost sonorous sound to it. And it sounds, when dwarves speak with great emotion, it almost sounds like they're singing. This kind of discordant, desperate sound. Like keening and pining in a minor key. Mm-hmm. And you hear that. And mixed in with it, you can hear sobs. And you can hear sort of exclamations and there's like a rage in it, a rage and a grief.
Yeah.
And the door is open if you want to try and you've essentially, that first stealth check is to just not be seen when he's going in, but if you want to try and get in.
Yeah, same.
You want to stealth in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, again, and let's have another stealth.
That'd be a 23.
Okay. Their passive perception is good, but it's not that good. He's cradling a body. It's a female dwarf with red hair tied back in a single thick plait, but the face is old.
Yeah.
That's worth saying on Alakash as well. Old. Alakash looked really old. And it's harder to tell when a dragonborn looks old because there's so many scales. But certainly,
It just go kind of grey around the scale edges.
and then that's what's happened. Then there's this graying. There's this kind of. I mean, you would know that Aurum would have been a golden dragon in the same way that Carvilius is a golden dragon, and there's a dimming. There's a real dimming of that gold on Aurum, and this red hair streaked with grey.
Yeah.
This thick plait, and Gronoth is holding Ullin, the dwarven goddess, cradling her with one arm, and with the other arm, he's slamming it into the wall. And every time he slams his hand into the wall, there's this black dust that goes into the air, comes off, and it's almost like the room is filling with a light smoke. That's how this feels.
And then I from my stealth position just say, "It's not your fault."
he looks up all at once and sees you, and there's that the hand goes straight to his mace. Like there's a move to attack because you've kind of bolted him out of it.
Yeah.
And then he sees you, and the hand loosens, and he says in common, "Look at her. Look at what they did." And you look down at this lifeless, the lifeless body of this god, and there's many wounds on it.
Yeah. You say they. Who is they?
Roll me persuasion with advantage.
17.
Okay. Cannot speak of it here. But there are things that now you have seen this. For what may come, you need to know. Go to Barun. And Barun, you know, is a city. Go to my residence. I will meet you there. I will tell you the truth of this. If not now, then we are all lost. But we cannot speak of it here. Not with the others. They would not understand.
I put my hand on his shoulder, because I can see that he's just trembling, like just like fizzing.
Yeah.
And I just, I say, thank you. We would all be dead if it wasn't for you.
You shouldn't have had to wait as long as you did. It is to our shame. It is to our shame that we could not protect you better then. It is to our shame that this has happened. And he gestures around the room. This dust from where he's been hitting the stone still hanging in the air.
No. We should have been better. We should have been better, but you stepped in.
And he looks at you and says, "You will have to be." And then he picks up the body of Berlin, and he starts to make his way back to the plaza. Do you want to follow, or do you want to stay in this room?
I want to find the goodies in the room.
Yeah, you want to find the goodies in the room. Metagaming, baby! No, this is my...
No.
No, it's not at all.
Radiant thinks to himself. Hear me out. Radiant thinks to himself, I wonder if there are goodies in this room.
Radiant thinks magic shit is fun.
Dwarves are so cool.
Okay, roll. I went to roll you a friggin' perception. Roll me an investigation, please.
Oh, no. Not a good one.
What'd you get, baby?
I got no... He knows there's something there.
No, he doesn't.
He knows. Investigation.
Yeah.
No. I was 7.
Okay. Nah. Nah. In this room there's a font, like a little stone carved pool which looks dry now, but I think once would have held water with a sort of foot pump.
Yeah.
There is a set of golden scales that have been twisted and kind of broken and blistered, as if by heat or magic. And that's all you.
And he thinks to himself, good. I'm glad there are no goodies in this room.
Let's cut over to Endelian. Endelian, you are running after Genevieve, and Morgan is fast on your heels. And as you as you run across this first parapet into the banqueting hall, and you hear Morgan say, "Draw your weapons. Draw your weapons. We don't know what's in there."
It's that fight or flight, all I do is fight. So you've come off that battle, you've come into here, and that adrenaline is leaving the body fast. So it is simply, I would turn to Morgan and be like, what does the web know? It's panic. Why are we here? You must know something. Why have the 9 most powerful clerics needed us to be with them?
It's not a case of need, it's a case of ritual. I know no more than you. Not in this instance. But what I do know is there is a need that the Antiqua felt to prostrate themselves before their gods. It's called the Deference for a reason. Of course they could have fought whatever was on the road. But it's a mentality. It's about saying, we will not fight. We will not use our power. That's what we're there for.
And I do what I have to. I'll turn around, draw both weapons. Okay. Then let's protect the Antiqua.
Okay, you run across another raised walkway into this plaza and straight up into towards this tower. And this tower is particularly tall. So the door that has been left ajar, you see, leads to a spiraling staircase, again of blackened stone. And you kind of hang back for a moment with Morgan, and you can hear already Genevieve's footsteps, sort of 10, 15, 20 feet above you as she's running up this spiral staircase. And Morgan follows up the spiral staircase. And you follow?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you hear a shriek when you're maybe 5 feet from the top of the stairs. You can't see anything because it's obscured by the spiral. And there's a body. Ignace is still wearing this crown of flames that she always was depicted in. Whenever you've seen carvings or scrolls or any religious texts, she has this kind of wrapping crown of flames. And they have the amber, the red, the gold of those flames has been dimmed to a white, like old coal, white and grey, powdery. She's wearing robes that were once of those same colours again. The colour spent and drained away from her. And Genevieve stands paralysed, her hands up to her face. Roll me perception check.
Probably not that great for me. It's just a 9.
Okay. Morgan's crying. Now you hear this sob, and Morgan, you gotta remember Morgan's a paladin. Morgan's a very deeply religious man, despite who he's found himself in league with. And you see this, you have to look up to see it. This guy's 6'9", this black hair, this big beard, shoulders with these spikes. He's got this huge sword, which now you hear a clatter as he just drops it to the floor. And he's just sobbing, and he falls to his knees. And as soon as he does, Genevieve puts her hand out and pulls him back to his feet. And she says, "Look, do not forget what has happened here. we will do something about this.
I think in the situations where things are starting to fall apart, you will, again, it's that fight or flight, and I think Endelian once again will just go into fight, and it will just be give people sharp, clear orders, because people need sharp, clear orders to follow when they're falling apart. So I need Morgan. I need Morgan to do something, because he's no good to anybody stood there crying, even with Genevieve trying to hold him up. So I'm going to tell Morgan to do something menial, something pointless, but just to keep him moving. So I'm going to tell him to look around the room, see if you can find a weapon, see if you can find anything that might have done this.
Some goodies of some sort.
No, no.
See, that's how you fucking metagame. That's good. No, I am so in for this. Great.
People are useless when they're crying.
Yeah, okay.
And if he thinks
great.
I should have my weapons drawn,
Yeah.
he's no good to me if he can't pick up a weapon.
Yeah. He rolled a dirty 0. He has a minus.
He's a mess.
He rolled a 1. He has a -1 to investigation. He is less than useless.
Me and him are real similar though.
Yeah, because you're kind of similar builds, I guess.
Then-
What you see is there is lots of there are lots of broken bits of things. That's all he just sort of he's just putting his hands through. You know what it's like? It's
What has he
almost like
done
going
so
through a
far
box
that's
of
been good?
broken. He's absorbed so much damage
That's
for
true.
you specifically.
That's true,
There were 3 wolves in the vicinity. 2 of them attacked him for 4 rounds. You would be so dead.
Lieutenant of the Web, his day has gone, woke up, got angry, fell out of a tree, got bitten alone.
He's just
And
crying.
now he's crying.
He's not having a bad time. He's a paladin who
Just
just found
whisper
a
to
dead
him,
god.
what is the point of view? Just really.
Get it together. He is literally bringing nothing to this.
Brutal.
Hurt people.
Yeah. I mean, he's as useless. He's a chocolate teapot here. There's no use at all.
Then I'm just going to leave him, and I guess I'm going to ask Genevieve what the hell is going on. At least Genevieve seems.
Yeah, I mean, Genevieve doesn't seem to have lost that composure, and where you see grief in Morgan, you see only anger in Genevieve, and she'd always sort of felt very stately, kind of regal, but in a different way to Barabask. More, she felt unflappable. She felt like she'd seen the lot, and you couldn't surprise her. And so how it manifests itself is this sudden fire and a sharpening and a purpose. And she says, "We'll find out. I don't know, but we'll find out. Once we're off this mountain, once our powers return to us, there will be something that we can see. There will be a truth we can find behind this. But now I do not know."
Then I guess we get off the damn mountain. So I will take them, and we're going to go back and find everybody else. Because there's nothing we're solving in this tower with I say the 3 of us, the 2 of us.
And so
Stop whispering investigate. I don't even have decent investigation anyway.
Maybe you hear from the other room, I found some goodies in this room. And you go, what?
Hi, look what I found.
No.
So, Genevieve again gets Morgan, and she looks at him and she says, "You carry her." And Morgan seems to come to his senses for a moment, and he sort of very gently picks up the body of Ignace and starts to make his way down the spiral stairs. Genevieve following. There's a moment where you're left alone in the room. Do you follow?
I'm actually going to look out the window. As daft as that sounds, I'm in the tallest tower on this mountain. The sky is filled with colours fighting each other. I guess it's a weird moment of reflection.
Okay, roll me a D4 to see the direction that this window looks. 1 is north, 2 is east, 3 is south, 4 is west.
Try. 2.
Okay, so you are looking east. You see the top of the Alanites. The top of the mountain range. Roll me perception.
It's 13.
Okay. There might be a shape of something. There's nothing beyond the Alanites. Maybe it's the colors. But could that be something beyond the Alanites?
Is it too late to shout for Genevieve?
No.
Then I'm actually going to summon Genevieve. Like, Genevieve, come look at this. And I want her to come back up the stairs and stand with me.
Okay, roll me persuasion.
It's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay. Genevieve comes back up the stairs. And she looks at you and she says, "What?"
And it is literally, what is that?
Roll me insight.
16.
She looks and she says, "I don't see it." And you think she's lying.
Then what is that?
She said, "We don't have time," and she walks down the stairs.
Then I'm just going to follow.
Okay. So you follow and you come down straight into that second plaza, and you see Calnis, you see all of your fellow party. Oh, in fact, Radiant, did you? We never did that with you, did we?
We
Perception. You haven't.
Still
You
sulking
haven't left.
around.
You're
Still going.
Radiant, roll me perception, because I'm assuming at some point you do exit. I'm kind of not going to allow you to just continually roll investigations if that's what you were hoping.
No, because one thing I do want to do, and this has
Yes.
nothing to do with the goodies.
It's nothing to do with my magpie.
So one thing I
impulse.
wanted to do before I shout
Yeah,
it out is,
please
would it
do.
be possible to go to the body? Oh no, he's taken the body, hasn't he?
He's taken the body.
Now, what I would like to specifically do is is there anything kind of around the body? You described a lot about the shapes of like where the other bodies have been laid out, but like this one seems to be the way you described it. It was mauled. It was like quite.
Yeah,
devastated.
this one, I guess. This seems to have been more. Gronoth's wearing full plate.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ulin's wearing full plate. And the plate's been kind of rent. So it was some force to do that. Ulin was a... Ulin was a very... You kind of had two types of god in the Divine War. You had the sort of more subterfuge, kind of big picture gods.
Yeah.
People like Malakine and people like Alakash and themselves and Thealon, and then you had gods that could fight.
Yeah.
Gods that could really fight, and that's Aurum, it's Norvar, it's Ulin.
Yeah.
And so she looks like a warrior even in death, and so you can see that there was more force needed. Essentially, I guess mechanically she might have had a higher AC if you want to think about it that way. So it took more to get to her.
Yeah. Could I cast Detect Magic?
Absolutely, you can.
So I'll read it out because it's been
Please
the first
do,
time that
please
I've
do.
done it. For the duration, you sense the presence of a magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic. You learn its school of magic, if any.
Okay, so I will say I will say that you see that there was magic used on her, but this is as low a reading as you could get from a detect magic.
Yeah.
So that could mean one of two things. Either there wasn't much magic used, or it was not used recently. That it's almost like a radioactive half-life. It lingers, but it's faded, and it's evocation magic. That's the school.
Cute.
And roll me an Arcana with advantage. You are a wizard after all.
18.
Evocation is the most damage-dealing school of magic. Evocation is unsophisticated blasting.
Yeah.
It's real. I'm not wrong, am I?
No.
No, I just know exactly what's going through Aoife's head right now. She's saying a quote in her head. Okay.
That's what you
And you said they were aged.
Yeah. They look. You say, yeah. Erlin doesn't. You and I, the character, not the me, would have seen probably the fewest religious texts. You might have seen loads. You can't remember.
Yeah.
But
I would say, just based on Radiant, I think he would have spent time before this reading up about them.
okay, always depicted with like bright orangey
Yes.
hair, and it's greying, it's dimmed, and a kind of round, full face, and the cheekbones are sunken, and the eyes seemed more hollow in their sockets.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he leaves the room.
Roll me a perception check as you leave.
12.
Okay, certainly with a 12, you see across the plaza and you see that all your companions are gathered
Yeah.
on that second plaza, and that everyone who is not your companions, they are all moving back towards the first plaza.
Right. I just follow after everyone.
After your lot.
Yeah.
Great. So you all join each other on that second plaza. I think the highest perception was either Dolly or Kelness, forgive me, I can't remember, but either way, both of you definitely see this small chamber, kind of unsupported. Some of these buildings, these great buildings, almost feel like they have foundations that have been driven into the stone of the mountain itself. There are these two narrow walkways, one that leads out of the council building, one that leads out the temple, and there's like a small antechamber, and then an even smaller chamber after it. That's where the light is coming from. But they're just floating above the chasm. But that's what you see. That's where you see the light coming from.
I'm gonna go towards it.
Okay.
I think if I see it as well, I think I want to investigate it.
Okay. So you go back into the temple, and you go into this.
I saw it as well.
Yeah.
So
I'm assuming that you're moving as one now. Unless someone specifically doesn't want to go, I'm going to treat the next little bit that you're all moving together in a
Oh,
group.
yeah, I mean, Genevieve's a bitch. I'm not going with her.
Also, as we move, I want to respond to the message. And I want to respond because you said there's more than one. And I want to respond with there is also none.
And I want to go, you guys have all these sweet goodies.
Kelness, what are you wearing?
Our time.
Everyone looks amazing. All those goodies are so nice.
Ellis,
Doesn't.
what are you wearing? Even if not, that is. Did you just?
I was at
did you take
Barclays
that from a
earlier.
dead
You look
body?
incredible, Kelness.
did
You
you
look
take
incredible.
Before we go ahead, I foolishly have lost it from my notes. Which of you failed the con save that I asked you to roll? and which of you passed. I definitely remember that Dolly failed it.
I can't even roll.
Remember
I remember
after
rolling a
the-
con save.
I think
After the
saved
battle with the wolves, I asked you to roll.
I believe I was an 18.
I think you passed. I think Kel failed. I think Endelian failed. And I think Radiant passed.
God, I didn't even know what I have for breakfast.
Right. I apologise to our listeners
If only we'd
probably,
filmed it.
or our watchers who are cursing me if I've got this wrong, but I believe that's what it was. It's on a separate piece of paper that is not here. So you start to make your way, go back into this conical ceilinged building. For some of you, it's the first time seeing these mosaics.
As we're walking, can I relay what I've seen and that the tiefling god is dead, and I don't think they're the only one.
I've said to you that there is none, suggesting, but that was as a direct response to the message. Understanding, as I do, the perception of kobolds and the kobold god, I am going to choose right now not to pass on the information to everyone that I didn't find themselves.
Okay.
That information I'm choosing to keep to
As
myself.
Dolly says that she found, what's the name of the god?
Alakash.
Alakash. I say, Theolon could not be found.
Interesting.
I join in. We found Ignis's body, and there's something that Genevieve isn't telling us.
What do you mean?
Genevieve refused to answer my questions.
Interesting.
I don't see anything.
So as you go into this conical room building, it's about as preserved a ceiling as you've got, and the light kind of fades. And then you see you were all running so fast through these spaces, following your various antiqua, that you missed it's just a small passage on the left-hand side, a narrow opening, an archway. And you can see the light. And you move down this narrow arch. There's a ceiling so low that all of you, apart from I, are forced to stoop as you go in, particularly Calnis. You're almost crawling towards this light. There's this narrow, crumbling passage. Everyone roll me kind of perception checks as you're walking through this. See how distracted you are.
Very, apparently.
Go ahead, Endelian.
4.
4.
4 as well.
10 from Dolly, 4 from I,
12.
12 from Kel.
21.
21 from Radiant, okay. Radiant, you see, as the others are kind of moving through it, there's surviving walls, there's something painted on them. The mountains, and there's thorns, and there's black water. This interweaving pattern of mountains and thorns and black water. And then you enter the first chamber, an even narrower passageway beyond. You can barely get yourselves through it. And it opens into this chamber of square stone, which has been, unlike a lot of the ornate stonework that you've seen up here in this palace, this is very simple. This is very functional. You'd even call it plain. And the roof is gone. Completely gone. And there are tiles strewn about the floor. And in the center of the space, there is a round stone plinth on which there are 3 orbs that are pouring light into the sky. And at the base of this round stone plinth, laid out, hands across their body, is the body of an elf. Golden hair that's lost its luster, green robes covered in black dust. And you can assume, the body of Theolon. But it's been placed. You can tell it's been placed and positioned.
Can I step forward to these orbs and see if I can sense anything of themselves. Any sort of feeling of connection or...
There are 3 orbs in front of you. It's one orb of pure white, like a white sun, like the sun reflected hard on a moon. Bright light, straight up. There's another orb of black. Bless you. There's another orb of black. And you look into it. There's a narrow ring of pale blue flickering around it, twisting, flickering. And the black... Roll me insight. In fact, you can all roll insight on these orbs. I'm assuming you're all, as I move towards them, you're at least looking at these.
17.
17.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
Hell yeah. Right. And a fudged roll.
Good time for it.
Thank God. About time.
Go ahead, Calnis. There's
7.
already been a nat 20 in a part. You'll probably be all right. Radiant? 12.
Insight, you say?
Insight.
17.
17. The same black Endelian. When you reached that plateau and you saw that blackness, and it was like an active darkness, an active absence of life. That's the black in this orb. It doesn't have any form to it, shape to it. It's deep. It's black. It's nothing. It's the most pure dark thing you've ever seen. And it strikes you that it feels the same as the darkness you've encountered in the world this high above the tree line. The other orb is this shimmering, constantly changing light, moving, swirling. Gold, amethyst, red, green. Roll a religion for me. Just I.
That one.
You don't sense anything of themselves.
What can I move towards Theon and try to recall what I know of his role? Sorry, her.
Totally fine.
Her role within the Pantheon.
Yes, roll religion. 12. This would be common knowledge. Theon was known as the Once Wild. It's in fact a phrase that you heard at the party all that time ago. Theon used to be a god of chaos. And she was turned. Alakash always said it was him, but Alakash would. But somehow Theon was turned. And Theon tipped the balance in favor of the virtuous when she changed sides. And there are some who think she kept some of that wildness. And when you look at Elven culture, there's high elf culture and wood elf culture. And high elves like Barabask revere the civility and the decorousness and the new goddess she became. And generally speaking, wood elves tend to revere and the kind of her freeness. How in tune she was with the natural world. And so she was a key player in this divine war because she changed sides.
Is she placed with a special care?
Yes.
Can I do a thing where I cast Detect Magic on the orbs in that area again?
Yes. So magic. The greatest presence of magic you've ever felt in your life is coming off these 3 orbs.
Any particular types?
That's a really, really good question. I think this would fall outside of types of magic.
This is like, I'm just sensing an overwhelming sense of energy. There is no school. There is only, one might say, chaos.
I guess this would be a transmutation.
Okay. Can I go up to Dolly, who's by Theon, and I say, I am not sure. But I think it might be them.
This is above our pay grade.
Yes, it is.
He starts muttering to himself, looking at the orbs, and looking at the black one, just starts going, vile. Looks at the one that is spinning chaotically with colour, wild. Looks at the pure light and goes, virtuous.
I think Calnus is transfixed by the body of Theolon and is moving slowly towards her body. And as he approaches, he kneels beside her and picks her up, brings her into an embrace.
She's cold. She feels long gone. Everyone roll perception. Go on, Dolly.
4.
4.
18.
18, aye. Calnus.
16.
16 and
14.
14.
15.
15. All of you apart from Dolly can hear. Can hear something from the orbs. It's almost like the orbs are whispering. It's like there's sibilant sounds, echoes. And as you focus on each one, you can maybe hear. It's hard to tune them out, but almost like there's different sounds coming from each one. They sound like voices. Too dim, too quiet.
I turns at this moment and decides this is the moment to say, I did not find themselves.
Okay, can I try something?
Yep.
With Mage Hand,
Yeah.
I want to reach out and I want to touch one of the orbs. I've got a quick thing. I don't think he'll do it. Right? Might do.
Old?
Yeah. I can use it to manipulate an object. It shouldn't have any effect.
Mage hand is like putting putting on a rubber glove, right? It's like,
What I want to do very, very tentatively. I want to reach out, and because I am sensing this overwhelming magic from this thing, but I just want to see it from a distance, whether it's safe to touch.
Okay.
So I very, very tentatively produce this hand that is similar to my own, and it floats out from a distance.
can't stress this enough from a distance.
I can't stress this enough. It is not physically connected to me. And I go, and I just go, my finger just goes to touch the bright white orb.
The white.
My son is here. Where are the others? They fell. He was too strong.
We warned you. The boy should never have been allowed to live.
What did you know of this?
What have you done? Reliquiae will fall.
You betrayed us.
You die at the hand of he you should never have spared.
You promised peace. You swore it.
You ended the peace when you weakened our blood.
You cannot hide. If they come for us, they come for the Feywild next.
The murk is thick. The briar will hold. It is done. You broke the oath. Should you brave our lands, we will be prepared. The shadow will flood.
And then the orbs go dark. Everyone roll perception.
7.
Go ahead, Dolly.
7.
16.
16.
9.
9.
9.
9.
10.
Aye. The orbs have gone dark. But there's still light. And you look. You can see out the walls of this chamber that cracked, and just through, put your eye to a crack in this wall. And you're looking out towards the west. And there's a view of the Alanites. And there's a view beyond the Alanites. There is a tree. There is a great tree. As tall, as high as you are now. And at the top of that tree, color, light.
I don't even look back. I want to head towards it.
I mean,
possible. Is it like...
It's like seeing out of the window of a plane.
Okay.
It's beyond the mountains at the edge of the world.
Okay.
But beyond there is the unmistakable shape of a tree, and there is color and light. And beyond, at the peaks of the mountains, you can see above it, almost kind of in lockstep with the topography of the Alanites, occasionally peeking above it, is what looks like a great thorn bush.
And I'm going to turn to everyone and say, what was the briars? And then I'm going to point, and I'm going to turn to Delian and say, what did you see?
Delian, I'm going to say that at this point, when it's pointed out to you, you can all see what I sees. That shape of the thorn bush, that's the shape you saw looking east.
So I'll literally tell you that. I saw that shape. I asked Genevieve what that was. She refused to answer me.
Now I want to turn to everyone and say, where is Genevieve?
They're all back at the other plaza.
She's gone back with the body to the plaza.
We find Genevieve.
Stop. They won't tell us anything. They are too scared, they are too frightened.
So why would they tell us?
When I was alone with Grornoth, he told me to meet him somewhere. Aram. There he would reveal the truth. It is not now to ask. This is, as you said, way above our pay grade. Yeah. We're not just going to go trudging across Reliquiae, across the Alanites, to some tree that we see. We can't do that. We can barely fight wolves. I say, we deal with our business here, and then we make our way back. We're not fighters. We're mercenaries.
Emo makes sense.
I puts on the cape with a sense of duty. This is a cape that came from themselves into I's mind. And I says, we do's what we must for good of all.
Interesting time to find fashion, but...
I don't know, Kelness has changed, mate, so... But, yeah. I'd say pick up the body. Give them a chance to mourn their dead.
Yes.
We move on.
Let's collect what we know, but don't expect anything.
We need to talk about what we just heard. At some point.
Yeah,
that felt like something that was not meant for us to hear. Maybe we should keep it to ourselves for now?
I think so.
I think they've already proven they don't trust us, so we don't trust them.
I like that train of thought.
Also, I have a thought. I don't think this happened recently.
They were aged. The gods were aged.
This magic in the other room, it was faint. It was as if it hadn't happened anytime soon, and this is decaying. This didn't happen 2 days ago.
I'm going to think and say, who is the child?
I don't know, but they've caused a bit of a stir. And whoever they are, if they're still around, they're definitely not safe.
Who are we going to tell?
What do we know?
We don't know.
Well, just a thought. I'm still cuddling Theo.
Cover our ears.
Am I the only one who thinks that the thorns represent the vile and the tree, the wild?
I don't know.
It's a nice thought, but we don't know anything. We're not the Antiqua. We're not. We're just a bunch of mercs.
Dornoff is the only one that was willing to tell us anything. So I say the next move is to meet with him. Wait to hear what he wanted to tell us first, and then we can decide if we want to tell him what we know, saw and heard.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of done with this place.
The orbs. We want to take them?
Oh, 100%,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm taking Theolon's body.
Yeah.
I guess just down to...
We're gonna head back to the plaza, right? I mean, we still need to be with
Say our
everybody,
goodbyes.
even if so let's take the body back.
Listen, we're going to have to deal with Morgan, too. I say we don't tell him. I don't say we tell him to the bottom of the mountain, and then maybe reconsider.
I assure you right now, he's right about other things. He won't be grilling us right now.
No one is going to believe us.
Oh, no.
But maybe Morgan would. Well, he recruited us, didn't he?
No, he was just told to
look after it, to
look
babysit
after
it.
us.
Morgan didn't recruit you. You all have your own ways that you've come to the web, whether or not you've discussed those. Morgan was assigned to you as you can assume, as someone who the spinner trusted. The killing of Alea Dakar was, deemed, it was a job for the web. But I guess if it had gone really badly, it's not the end of the world. Whereas you don't know, but whether or not they've worked with them before, any job with the Antiqua, they'd need to get it right. The web would need to get this right. And so they've put someone who's a steady hand.
He's not.
You've proved yourself. He is steady.
He's not.
He's unremarkable. But
He's under a lot of stress.
You've proved yourselves competent but mercurial. He is not mercurial.
Okay.
Having seen that Mage Hand worked without any consequence for Radiant, I would like to cast Mage Hand, but also with the knowledge that it has a carry limit of 10 pounds, would like to try and lift first, specifically, the Virtuous, the orb that was shining the brilliant white light.
I was just gonna grab them. Didn't even I was literally. I'm like, well, the energy's gone. Yoink.
You're dead.
Yeah, you're all dead, which is nuts that I did it that way. It feels anchored to the stone. Like they're not marbles in a solitaire thing. They are part of the structure of the stone. So you can't lift it with a mage hand. You want to try and just
Yeah.
pull it out? Okay,
Yeah.
roll me a strength check. I mean, you're gonna have to rip this thing out.
19.
Athletics.
Oh, athletics, 19.
Okay. Yeah, it has some give, but you can't. You can feel movement in it, but this would require hacking out. You'd need to take a pick to it or a tool. Like, they're not just, as I said, they're not just sitting in a bowl. Although the stone is not what the stone used to be. So there is movement in them.
Do we want to?
No, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. They're not designed. I feel like by knowing that they're not moving, it's the idea that someone might have come in here and placed all three for a reason.
Right.
And if they're not moving, that means someone hasn't just wandered in and placed. They're fixed into this.
They've been here.
Yeah.
I've got an idea. We tell Morgan what we heard. We tell him to go back to the spinner with news. And then
Only a fool trusts the spinner.
what do we know? Who
He's
are we?
absolutely heartbroken over the death of Ignace. He will clearly turn to Genevieve, who's the human cleric, and looking for solace, comfort, and a guiding light. The one person who's already lied to my
Oh,
face.
fantastic. So you think that what's just going to happen is we're going to go to Grornoth, we're going to find out the news, and then just trudge up to this tree and be fine?
Grornoth has proved himself trustworthy, though.
Yeah, but what are we?
Definitely not trustworthy.
We barely survived this fight. This is something way more powerful than us. I say we go to someone who might understand this. The web is wide. Let's use it.
Web is also sticky and dangerous.
Okay, I won't argue with you. Do what you want.
No, he's right. We need all the help we can get. And we're all indebted to the web in some way anyway, so what more damage can it do?
So what are you saying? We keep this to ourselves, go to Grornoth, find out what we know, then make a decision?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we speak to the web.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done with this place. Let's go.
So you take the body of Thealon, and you head back through the temple, through the plaza. And when you kind of go outside into that second plaza, that large plaza where you all congregated, far away from the Antiqua, you can hear arguing. Roll me perception.
16.
16 from Ray.
14.
14.
9.
9.
11.
11.
19.
19. Okay, so Dolly, Delian, and Radian, you can hear a full-blown argument. You can hear Runa shouting, where are your gods? Hey, everybody else's gods are dead, and yours are where? They're gone. And then you hear, you can hear Barabask. If the goddess has escaped, we should rejoice. At least there is some chance that the virtuous, that the divine have. And you can hear sort of the little timorous voice of Pavas amongst the shouting. You can hear Carvilius shouting as well. It feels like a rageful. It feels like this is a huge argument that they're having, and you can hear Pavas saying, then I am not, have never been. You are all aware that I am not responsible for the actions of themselves. And you can hear this argument raging as you get closer to that first plaza.
Is it from what we can hear from Runa making these accusations? Is it only themselves and
Thealon?
Yeah.
Yes, they're the only voices you can. You don't hear Arbuthnot the gnome.
Yeah.
You don't hear Damilo the halfling, but you hear Genevieve shouting at them. You can hear Grawnoth sort of trying to intercede and calling for calm, for sanity to prevail. This is not a time, he's saying, to act without thought. This will change everything. If we fight amongst ourselves now, we are already lost. You can hear all this clamor of voices. And as you approach this first plaza, you can see that Runa has kind of pinned Pavas and is bellowing in his face for him to explain himself. And you can see him sort of struggling and trying to free himself.
Dolly's gonna run over and be like, let's all take a bait. Runa, this isn't helping. This is not helping at all.
Roll persuasion.
Fighting behind Dolly, just.
Yeah.
With my very high persuasion modifier, it's still only a 9.
Okay, it's a 9. Runa takes one of her hands off Pavas and goes to, opens her body up as if she's gonna kind of grab you.
Try it.
And she sees Kelnis holding the body of Theolon. And the argument stops.
And I say, here is the body of the great and beautiful Theolon.
And Barabask, passes out. Barabask, faints and is Genevieve, who was in conversation with him, who was the main antagonist, kind of pointing towards him. She grabs him as he goes to fall, stops his head from hitting the rock, and kind of holds him in and whispers to him. And gradually he starts to come back round. But for a moment at least, that rage is gone. And there's a pause, there's a brief cessation of the hostilities as the rest of them take in this new information. Arbuthnot and Damilo are just sat on the floor. They're fully checked out. Malakine, still has that this kind of rueful shaking of her head, like she can't kind of quite fathom what's going on here. And then Runa turns again to Pavas and says, "Where is themself?" And Pavas looks up, still with one arm across his throat, and in this sort of strangled cry, which makes him sound more kobold than he ever has, we doesn't know.
I want to rush forward.
In that moment, Dolly is going to message, be careful.
I doesn't reply. I rushes forward. And I says, I was with a Pavas. We does not know, but we knows themself is good. And we knows that you has changed them. And points at Pavas and says, and they is not Cobalt. You has made them a Pavas. And I just want to stare them in the eye.
Is this at all of them in general? Or is this targeted at someone?
It's targeted. Is it Runa who has?
Runa
yeah,
is
it is
the orc
targeted
who's roll me intimidation.
To 15.
There's a moment when this hulking orc looks down at you, all 3 foot of you, and meets your eye. And looks back at Pavas, releases her grip, and says, "If there were any justice in the world, you'd be thrown from the mountain." And at this point, Carvilius, the Dragonborn, steps forward, kneels down in front of Pavas, and says, Aurum long suspected falsehood in themselves, as far back as the time of Sentiasa. You have questions to answer, my friend. And there's this like gravitational potential energy. Like it's like someone stood on the cliff edge. This could go either way. There is a version of this where Pavas ends up getting mauled and torn apart. And there's a version where it sort of dispels.
I intercedes and says, but we is not the only ones who has questions to answer. Is Genevieve there?
Yeah, they're all there.
I want to turn to Genevieve and say, and you is hiding something.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to persuade, intimidate? Are you telling her you know, or are you wanting a response?
I think in this moment, I'm more just telling her I know. But it's not. It's done in a way. Okay, it's difficult because it's done in a way which is. It's not trying to persuade her to say anything, but it's done with the intent of saying I know. So,
roll me either persuasion or intimidation.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 6.
She looks at you and she says, whatever you think you know, you are a grain of sand. And then she looks back at the others.
And I said, but I is one of many grains.
And at this point, Grornoth steps in and says, what... We have to get off this mountain. Can I have Dolly, Kelnis, and Endelian roll me a d4?
3.
2.
4.
Okay. Radian and I, roll me perception checks.
8.
8.
13.
13. Kelnis and Delian and Dolly look different. And you look around at some of the Antiqua, and you can see them looking at them too. They have started to lose some of their color. They have started to darken and dim and fade. I'd like Dolly to take 4, and Delian to take 3, and Kelnis to take 2 off your maximum HP.
Not good for you, love.
But here's what else you have.
How much was I taking?
You're taking 2. Here's what else you have. Your attacks now deal an extra 1d4 necrotic damage. And you have resistance to necrotic damage. I'm gonna have... Morgan failed, so Morgan's gonna do the same thing.
Has Morgan not failed anything?
I don't think so. I believe Morgan failed. Morgan only takes 1.
Sorry, Harry, can you just go through it again? So our attacks take 1d4, give 1d4.
Give an extra. So in addition to everything you'd ever do, your attacks deal 1d4. And if you take necrotic damage, it's halved, but you've lost maximum HP. And this is the con save.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have...
Team Necrotic for the win.
I'm just gonna have Grornoth look at you and roll a medicine. See if he can. He has +11. They're powerful boys. They're powerful boys and girls, these clerics. If only they could use it. He rolled a 15 on the dice. It's 26. You have what they had, the wolves.
Oh.
Yeah.
Essentially, mechanically, every single one of you who either stabbed a wolf or took damage from a wolf, if you did a melee attack, you only did it in the last round, Kelners. But you all then had a chance of taking on this blight. You've been struck by this blight. We do not, you've seen our powers, they mean nothing here.
I would very much like to get off this mountain now.
Off the mountain sounds like a great idea.
I feel icky.
Let me see something. Yeah, okay. Barabask has recovered enough to be listening to this. And he looks at you, Kelnis, and he says, You brought the body. You deserve. You are deserving. And he takes he goes into his pack and he gets some parchment and he scrawls out a letter. He hands it to Morgan. And he says, take this to Jasmine at the festival. She is a high cleric of mine. She will see that you are, this is remedied. It must be remedied. He looks at you, Radiant, self-appointed leader. They may not have long. And then Carvilius looks to Genevieve, these sort of two natural leaders along with Barabask. Barabask still kind of shell-shocked. Carvilius and Genevieve look at one another, and Carvilius nods, and Genevieve says, say nothing of what you have seen, not yet. It will cause a panic. We will remedy this. We will. There is much wisdom in the Antiqua. We will find a way. Say nothing. The festival must continue. The people must not be alarmed. And she looks to Morgan first, and Morgan nods. I mean, Morgan straight away. Yeah, of course, I understand, I understand. She sort of looks to the rest of you. This is not something to be shared lightly. There is a time and a place, and it is not now. Looks at you and Delian.
Just stare back.
Make your way down the mountain, we will wait here. We need to do what we can to figure out a plan, but you don't have that time.
I kind of like sidle up to Gronoth and kind of like get close to him before we leave, and I say, we will do this, and then we will meet you in Bowram, and we expect answers.
He is going to roll a cheeky stealth check, which is a 19, to have this conversation without anyone else hearing. He says, and I swear to you, you will have them. Ask for Brynhilde. She is the captain of my guard. She will keep you safe. When we're off the mountain, I can move with great speed. But for now, my powers are limited. I will meet you there. You have seen. We cannot hide this from the people, not for long. The world is changed. And he, roll me insight on him.
22.
He's not lying. You're as sure as you can be that he's not lying. He holds your gaze, he doesn't flinch from it. And just like he did when you told him to hurry along the rest of the Antiqua, your tone, your demanding tone, he seems to have no issue with it.
Thank you.
It's the least you deserve.
I'm still carrying this body. I place it next to Arum. Is there, as I'm doing this, I've been carrying this body, and as I place it down, are there any distinguishing features of what they're wearing, or?
Oh, of what? Who is wearing?
Theolon.
Theolon was wearing golden robes that have been marred and blackened. Without wishing to get too deep into the weeds of describing wounds, Theolon was placed intentionally, and Theolon was the most looks to have been killed in the most perfunctory manner. Looks to have been killed quickly.
I lay her down.
You lay her down with the others.
Time to go? Time to go.
Away goes.
And as you're about to leave, Grawnoth says, take these, take what you can. And he hands you all a potion of greater healing. You all have one, including our young chap, Morgan.
I steal one off Morgan.
And that is 4d4 plus 4 for a potion of greater healing. He, in fact, really, what he kind of goes around the antique and does a whip round. And they kind of, certainly, he just goes into Damilo and Arbuthnot's pack. I mean, they're not even, they're catatonic at this point. Gets some out from there. Runa gives one. And Malachine gives one. Oh, and then there's a sixth, so let's say Pavas gives one. Pavas places one in your hand. Go, quickly. You must get off the mountain.
Couldn't agree more.
So you leave the peak, descending the same blackened staircase that you ascended when you came up here. And even more than before, you realize you leave footprints in the stone now. It's almost like stepping into to compacted sand. There's a moment of give, and then you look down and your footprints are there. And there are no footprints going up, so you feel like it's continuing. This death is continuing. And you go down, you start to, the light from the tree starts to fade as you get further down, and by the time you reach the plateau where you were, the light is gone. You can't see over the anodes, you can't see the tree. And you reach that same area where you first did battle with the wolves. Everyone roll me a perception check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
17.
17.
13.
13.
6.
6 and 12. Radian, you're the first to hear it, this weak howl. And the bodies of the wolves that you killed are still there. But there's this weak howl, and you look over and you see a mass with a head that just about still looks lupine, dragging its hind legs, trying to roar, trying to snarl. I mean, it has a movement speed of like 1 foot. It can barely move. It can barely make a sound. It's being taken. And I'll give you advantage on an Arcana check with your nat 20 to try and figure out what's going on here.
15.
It's like this blight makes you powerful and then takes everything from you. It'll get worse. Your symptoms will get worse.
I simply walk up to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally take my dagger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We need to find Jasmine.
And this wolf slumps to the floor. So you continue to walk down the plateau.
Yeah, we do.
And
that's exactly what we do. Faster than before.
Yeah. You find the pass again. And you enter the cloud line as you drop below this plateau, and it's thicker, it's even thicker now. And as you pass through these clouds, you feel this familiar cold, and then this disorientation as your path is lost to grey and white, and then you emerge. And you don't emerge into green, you emerge into more black. It's like this blight is spreading blade of grass by blade of grass. It's barely perceptible. But it is starting to move. Not quickly, but it's starting to move. And these trees that were blooming when you ascended, they've withered. And the fruit that was on the vine has started to fester. You can hear the buzz of flies when before there was nothing. And the last few remaining petals on the flowers, ready to drop, have been tarnished. And then you see something, and again, with a nat 20 perception, I'm going to say you recover quicker than the rest, and you see a vine curling round, and it has the shape of a humanoid at its center, like it's wrapped round a humanoid.
I go straight over to it.
Okay. Is anyone going with him?
Yeah, I guess.
I will as well.
Yeah.
This is unnatural. This should not be.
Everybody roll initiative.
Fuck.
God damn it!
We got this, don't worry.
I roll all my high rolls early on.
You got them all out your system.
Got 'em all out
Okay.
of my system.
What did I do that for? Why did I roll a nat 20?
Everyone gets really annoyed about rolling nat 20s, wasting them on initiative, but to move first is very useful.
Is it though?
No, I mean not as useful as other stuff. So,
You want to give her that armor right now, Gil?
so, can I get anyone from 20 to 25? I mean, no one beat a natural 20.
23, yes.
So Dolly moves first. Anyone from 15 to 19?
17.
17 for Rady, and anyone from 10 to 14?
11.
11 for I. 5 to 9?
9.
9?
6.
6. What's your dexterity modifier?
My dexterity modifier is +2s.
Great. So,
Can we take a moment for a short rest?
yeah, if you want to take
No. I mean, like in game.
No.
No, it was a joke. It was meant to be a joke.
Yeah, sorry, can I get all my spells back? I'd really
keep doing
like them,
some
please. So, Dolly, that is you who moves first. What you see, as you move towards this vine, you see the vine separates, and there's nothing in the center of it. It's like it was a lure. Mm-hmm. And instead, this single vine just starts to thrash around, trying to reach out and entangle you and grapple you. Dolly, that's your turn.
I'm gonna back up as far as I can.
Yeah.
Because I'm real squishy right now. I'm just gonna be like, what? Why did you walk towards this thing and cast Bardic Inspiration?
You didn't have to follow.
Radiant.
On Radiant. Okay, so Radiant has an extra d6 that you can add to an attack roll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it.
That's it. That's your turn.
I'm guessing that by now Barkskin has worn off Dolly, hasn't it?
I believe so. Barkskin, I think,
It's
probably
1 hour, but
lasts
it's
for an hour.
It's concentration as well.
Yeah, and also even in game, we've been playing for 2 hours, and you guys have been up a mountain investigating stuff. So I think you're
done.
Yeah, so we're probably 4 or 5 hours after you were last at this level. So if that's your turn, that is Radiant's turn now.
Yeah. I'm going to cast Magic Missile
Yeah.
at the vine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you hurl 1d. What you've hurled 3 motes.
Yep.
3 missiles.
Yep.
So at first level, it's 1d4 plus 1 per hit, right?
Yep.
Or is it 1d4?
It's 1d4, 3 d4s plus 1.
Great.
4. 4.
What?
That's so 12. 12. This thing is a vine. This thing is hurt. That is I's turn.
With that in mind, that it's hurt and it's a vine.
Yep.
With the hope that it will have an extra, maybe it's got a bit of weakness to it. I would like to cast Firebolt at this vine.
Make a ranged spell attack. Natural 1. Okay, so you cast Firebolt, this sort of little jet of flame, this almost like a pinprick, I always think of Firebolt like a rocket that hasn't yet exploded, like this little pinprick that goes in, and the vine sort of twists itself at the last minute. It's so erratically sweeping round, trying to crash into one of you, attack one of you, that in fact it makes you miss your aim. Kelnis, that's your turn. I do apologise, of course.
With my bonus action, how close am I to it? I'm
going to say that because I didn't ask for disadvantage on the roll, you must be at least 5 feet from it.
Okay, so I don't need
So you're 10 feet from it.
Okay.
You're all within like 15 feet of it, but I don't think anyone's got up into melee range with it yet.
Well then, aware that we're talking blighted stuff and we've seen what's happened here, I'm going to dash back.
Yep.
As far as I can.
Yep. So you can move 60 feet back. So you're now 75 feet away from it.
Yeah, I'll commit to that.
Yeah. yeah. No shame. There's no shame here. Kelnis, that's your turn.
Okay, I'm going to cast Burning Hands on the vine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 15-foot cone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's 3d6 damage.
Great. Do you have to roll for it, or does it just happen? So on the card, what does it say?
It says,
Give me the whole card.
I don't have the card open.
Oh, okay, don't worry, I can bring it up.
It's one action, instantaneous.
Yeah.
As you hold your hands with thumbs touching and fingers spread, a thin sheet of flame shoots forth from your outstretched fingertips. Each creature in a 15-foot cone must make a dexterity saving throw.
Great. So I'm going to say you can target that in such a, eyes moved back, you're not in melee range. I think you can absolutely target that in such a way where you're just hitting the vine. So it's going to make a dexterity saving throw. It has a +0. What is your spell save DC?
14, I believe. Hang on
it rolled a 12. Yeah, your spell save DC is 14. So it rolled a 12, so it fails. So it will take all of this damage. So 3d6.
3, 2,
5,
4,
9 damage. Okay, this thing is hurt. You see as it takes that fire, it doesn't make a noise. It's a vine, but it sort of starts to thresh around even more erratically, even more violently. And Delian, that is your turn.
Let's get within 5 feet.
Yeah. So you step in.
And guess what we're doing?
I'm going to cast Wish. Yeah. Wish spell. I wish the gods were alive.
Hey, look, I might have less HP, but if I've got that extra damage, I may as well use it.
That's true.
So I did only roll, however, a 13 on my strength.
A 13. So what did you roll on the die?
9, and I have a +4.
And you also have a +2 to hit because you add your proficiency bonus to a damage roll.
Yes.
So you have a +6.
I have a 6.
So to be honest, 13 would have hit anyway.
Yeah, but it's a 15.
15 definitely hits.
Yep. Right. So that is a. First of all, it's my D6 plus 4 to hit for 6.
Six.
Plus 1d4.
I'm sure she'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm sure she'll get there.
Plus my D4, which is only a 1.
Okay, this thing is just about still up. You slice into it, you kind of slice the top off it, and so you've kind of, you've sort of amputated the top half of this vine, which is like a little bit like a worm that's been cut in half. It's just sort of squiggling around on the floor. And then there is, again, this kind of black ichor coming out of the vine as it's sort of swirling around. But it's eyeshadow. It's really like, you still got the eyebrows.
Yeah,
now you got the shadow.
eyebrows
You
for
haven't
one.
got any fine damage.
I mean, I'm rotting from the inside out, but I got my eyebrows.
But I look good doing it.
Death becomes her.
Okay. And now you stab into it with the dagger. So let's roll an attack with the dagger.
Let's go.
So my attack would be 11 plus 4 plus 2, so it's 17 to hit.
Come on.
And then my dagger is a D4 plus 5, so it's 4 hits for 9. And then I get another.
Oh yeah, go on then. Yeah, why the hell
which
not?
is a 2, so it's an additional
11.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it has a minus 9 HP at this point.
Good.
So yeah.
Thank me later.
So destroy it.
Right. So I'm going to take my dagger. It's going to come across. It's just going to take straight through the middle. That rest of that black goo is just going to finish trickling down the side. And just to make it look cool, dagger out. That little wormy boy. And we're done.
Dagger.
60 feet away, I go, nice.
75. You're not even in this one.
No one can hear you from 75 feet. You're down. It sounds like he's down a well.
You're halfway to the festival, mate.
And as we all stand in silence, I just say, I regret nothing.
Off the mountain?
Off the mountain.
Off the mountain.
So you start to travel again through this area, which is still within the blight. As far as you can see down, it's still within the blight, but that's not true. Your immediate surroundings are still within the blight, but you can see down to the base of the mountain. You can see that the mountain is still as it was. But up here, it starts to snow. And snow's never fallen on Mount Atria. This is the mountain of perpetual spring. And yet, unmistakably, there are snowflakes falling, just like they're falling all over the rest of the land. And they're falling fast. And as that happens, the ground shakes. And the ground shakes suddenly and violently, and something cracks from up above you. And then there's a stillness. And then everyone roll perception.
19.
10.
15.
3.
17.
17, 19, 15. You see tiny pebbles skittering.
Always the pebbles.
Vibrating on the floor. You hear a rumble. It's a zombie, and a zombie comes down. And the black earth at your feet starts to splinter. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me?
The mountain is dying.
Oh my god.
Get my special pad.
Yes.
That's cocked.
Okay. Do we have any? Did you roll that 20?
No, it was a cocked 2. I was like, is that cocked? It is cocked. Okay, great, I'll roll again. 3.
So,
though.
20 to 25. 15 to 19. Oh
no.
Oh no, this is a bad one. 10 to 14.
Oh no, yeah. 12.
Oh, thank God. Who's got dex modifiers?
I've got plus 2.
Plus 2.
I've got plus 3.
Okay, so plus 3. So
what do you mean this is a bad one? We have no
There's been no good ones.
Don't worry. It's all.
What do you mean it's all good?
Don't worry.
It's Morgan.
Oh yeah, Morgan's here. I forgot about Morgan.
Well, he did nothing.
Morgan got a 7.
Morgan!
Morgan's got. He's
I mean,
from the
we're-
inside as well.
I
I
don't
assume
know.
we left kind of Morgan on the thing.
I
but,
can only assume at this point Morgan's got something on the spinner. Because there's no way I would have promoted someone like Morgan.
I love your vendetta against Morgan. He's a deeply
He's been
competent man.
deeply useless.
Can we just hear? Hey, wait up! It's me, guys.
Hey, listen, I'm on my way down, but it's really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad down here.
Is it snowing with you guys?
I'm coming down in sheets.
Actually, it's just Morgan rolling. The runway is Morgan
rolls
like a
all as
human
spikes.
boulder. Yeah.
like Indiana Jones, it's just Morgan. You're all running from.
Like 10 pins. We're just diving down the way.
and it crumbled.
So, do we have 5 to 9?
Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
I'm a 5.
A 5,
6.
8, a 5, and a
It's
6.
not like you
So 8 is I, 7 is Morgan, 5. What did you say? A 6 was.
5
That
is
was me.
Really?
Count us as 5.
Who's
You're
lower?
a 6.
Who's lower?
Because you both said that was me at the same time. I was very
Can I
confused.
just ask who's lower?
I was busy watching you. wreak havoc on the bone.
I'm on 12 right now.
And squishy at the best of times.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I have no spells left.
No, me, I have 1 spell
I
slot.
have cantrips, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
My arms still work.
You all look up the mountain and you see a landslide. There is black earth moving towards you. Here is how this is going to work. The landslide is going to move a set amount every round. It's going to move on initiative 20. You have to make it 400 feet.
dash.
Yeah, so here's how movement works for those of you who are kind of new players and for anyone watching and listening who's new. Within everyone's turn, it's divided into multiple things. Movement, action, bonus action, and reaction, and then free action, but we won't worry about that. You all have a movement speed. All our players have 30-foot movement speed with the exception of Radian, who has 35-foot movement speed.
Yeah.
If you want to use your movement and also your action, you can choose to move double your movement speed. So Radian can move 75 feet per turn. The rest of you can move 60 feet per turn. I will say, with the exception of I can move 30 feet with his movement, 30 feet with his action, and then another 30 feet with his bonus action dash. So I can potentially move 90 feet per round.
So I can leave us for dead.
So I can leave you for dead.
Right.
On every round, something's going to happen. On every turn, something's going to happen.
Okay.
And I am tracking you all on a little grid to make sure that once you've hit those marks, everything's okay. So that's what we're going to do. That's how this is going to work.
That's what we're gonna do.
It's not okay.
I am not okay. So first of all, on initiative 20, the avalanche is going to move. The avalanche begins 60 feet behind you. It moves 40 feet.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Gosh.
The avalanche moves.
That's a big boy.
So it's now 20 feet behind you.
Can I cast surfboard?
Yeah, that famous cantrip surf. Radian, that is your turn. Roll me a d6.
Oh my god.
4.
A 4. You can move freely. You can take your turn, no impediments, nothing happens, you can move freely.
I mean,
Let's go, boy.
how far away is it from us now?
It's 20 feet
20
behind you.
feet. So it's gonna hit us if I
Better
go.
start running, boy.
Better start running. I'm gonna run. I'm going.
And you want to run as far as you can in your turn?
Yeah.
Great.
dash, dash.
So that's 60 feet. So you move, yes, in fact, that's 70
70
feet. So you move from 60 feet to 130 feet. Do you want to do anything as a bonus action?
No, I don't have any fun bonus actions.
Have you got any second level spells left?
No, I'm done. I'm
Okay.
good.
Good. Misty Step is second
Missed
level.
my sissy step a second level.
Okay. And Delian, that is your turn. Roll me a d6.
It's a 1.
It's a 1. Okay. Roll me a dexterity. The ground gives way beneath you. The ground that you're on gives way. You can only move 30 feet this round.
Then we're moving 30
Okay.
feet.
And Delian moves 30 feet. It's your turn. Roll me a d6.
6.
You can move freely.
Okay.
Off you go.
I mean...
What I will say is, once you get to the 400 feet mark, you are able to give help actions to other people. So once you're clear, you can either shout at people who are still running to warn them about terrain. You can obviously give bardic inspiration. You know, there are things that you can do, and I want to reward inventive uses of your stuff. So this is an opportunity to try things and see what works.
Yeah. Is there within this any chance to if I want to have a look around, just a glance around to see is that forsaking an action, and so I can only do the 60 feet, so I get my movement, my bonus action to dash.
I will say if you want to look around and use your action to do it, so you only get 60 feet worth of movement, I'll give you advantage on whatever it is you're trying to look around and see. But if you just want a chance to look over your shoulder, I'll give you disadvantage, but you can move the full 90 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna take the advantage.
Okay. So what are you looking for? What are you looking around at?
I am looking around for any clearer routes, anything that's anything that might be an impediment in the way.
Yep. Okay, so what I'll say is I will say by doing, roll me a perception check with advantage. It's a DC 15, I'm going to say.
14.
And you have plus 0?
Yep.
Okay.
So I just sprint 60 feet then.
So you sprint 60 feet. So I is now at 120 feet. That is Morgan's turn. Time to show up, big lad. Time to show up.
I'm here. I'm
going to roll a d6. I'm going to roll a d6 for Morgan.
Show me what you can do.
Okay, Morgan rolled a 1. As Morgan
Morgan is the worst NPC
as
ever.
Morgan puts his feet down. Morgan puts his foot down, his big galumphy boot, and immediately the earth gives way beneath him. His movement is halved and he can only move 30 feet. He is now at 90 feet along with Endelian. So it turns out he's not the only one who's incompetent.
Not
that
today,
is
anyway.
Dolly's turn.
I want to say, did I just kill the tree? Right.
Okay, in Morgan's defense, I forgot he was there. Morgan might have killed that tree. You all rolled very badly on the initiative. Actually, you rolled good initiative. Dolly, that's your turn.
Dolly's just gonna glance back and be like, "You've got to be kidding me," and just gonna dash forward.
You take your 6. Oh, so roll your d6, please.
Yeah. Oh yes, of course. 1.
1. Okay, you can only move 30 feet this round.
Welcome to Club Human.
Oh god. I don't like it here.
So you move 30 feet. Dolly's now at 90 feet. Calnus, roll a d6.
3.
3. You can move as far as you like. But as you do so, as you start to run, there is a falling rock that is dislodged, and you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. But you can, so take 2 off your HP, but you can move freely.
Okay. Ouch.
Great.
God, he's good. The immersion.
On the National Theatre stage.
It's almost as if we were on the mountain with him.
If you wouldn't mind, do it again.
Oh, the verisimilitude. So, Calnus, what would you like to do?
Well, I don't know if I can do all this.
Try it. Tell me, and I'll try and help out.
I feel like I don't know where we are in relation to each other.
Okay, I can tell you. So, Endelian, Morgan, and Dolly are 30 feet ahead of you. I is 60 feet ahead of you. Radian is 70 feet ahead of you. And the landslide, calling it an avalanche, it's definitely not an avalanche, is
40 feet behind
20
me.
feet behind you.
20 feet?
Yes, because it moved 40 on its turn, it goes on initiative 20, and you all rolled like stink.
Okay. What I'd like to do, I don't know if this is allowed, because I'm going to be, if I run 60,
Yes?
right, I'll be passing either Endelian or Dolly.
You would be passing Endelian, Morgan, and Dolly.
Just
aware of this camera.
Yeah, you'd be passing Indelian, Morgan, and
Multiple
Dolly.
cameras.
Who would I pass first?
Well, here's what I'd do. I would say let's you and Dolly and Indelian and Morgan all roll a d20, and whoever gets closer to what you roll is the closest person to you. Let's hope it's Morgan.
You got a 14.
I got a 15.
Morgan got an 18.
Natural 6.
Natural 6! He's gonna die! Okay, so you'll pass Indelian first.
Yeah, the
Okay.
grown-up club is together.
After all of that, what I'd like to do is, as I'm running, grab a length of rope
Yes.
from my backpack
The hempen rope that everyone carries,
and pass an end to Indelian, and then just carry on.
Okay.
We're going to close
Like a hempen umbilical cord.
Yeah, but
Drag her down the mountain.
if nothing else,
You can drag the corpse.
I can drag the corpse.
Well, if she dies, you know.
You know where my
but
body
right now
is.
she's not a corpse.
No, of
right,
course she's
right
not.
now.
Right now.
So what you'd like to do? Okay, here's what I'll say. I'll say that that will cost you
Yeah, I thought it might.
15 feet of movement this round.
Okay.
So you can pass a length of rope to Indelian, and I'm going to say within that 15 feet, that is also you like tying it, like wrapping it round your wrist enough that you're not going to let go of it. And you're sacrificing some movement so Indelian can do the same. You can move 45 feet ahead of Indelian. If Indelian goes down, you can drag her along with you, but it will mean you can only move 30 feet.
Yeah.
So as long as you're both still up, you can both still do your full movement. You just happen to be tethered together. But if Indelian gets knocked prone, you can drag her, or if Indelian gets ahead of you and you get knocked prone, you can drag the prone person along with you, but it means you can only take half your movement. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that
you're
makes
carrying.
sense.
It's something you're dragging. Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels like the right thing to do because it's
Love
like,
it.
well,
I love it.
got to do something to
I love
help
it.
save
So
someone.
I'm going to do a little tethered thing here.
Can't tell if this is good for me or bad for me. Do you know what I mean?
either
Like
way.
this
It could go either way.
is
This is
double-edged
to do with
sword.
his. No, yeah. Let's just keep going. We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I suppose there is the
Lots of
question whether Indelian actually takes the rope.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, that's true.
Do you take the rope?
I mean, it's a dick move if I don't now. He's thrown it at me.
So you move 45 feet.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
And Indelian has a length of rope around her that is also fastened to your arm. So here is where we are at the end of round 1, and I'll give you this every single time so you know where we are. The landslide is at 40 feet. Indelian is tethered to Kelnis, and she is at 90 feet. Morgan is at 90 feet. Dolly is at 90 feet. Kelnis is at 105 feet, tethered to Indelian. I is at 120 feet. Radian is at 130 feet. Every round, the landslide tries to get quicker. I'm going to roll with no modifier every time. On the first round, the end of the first round, I need to roll a nat 20 to increase its movement speed. On the second round, it's a 19. On the third round, it's an 18. And each time it increases, it goes back to a 20.
Okay.
I'll roll in front of the table.
Nice
For
mechanics.
the first time.
Please do.
Yeah, it's cool. Isn't it?
That's a 16. Okay. So the avalanche, the landslide, please, everyone cut that out. The landslide moves to 80 feet. It is 10 feet behind Indelian, behind Morgan, and behind Dolly. That is Radian's turn.
Yeah. How close am I? 130, so I'm 400.
You're 130 feet
Yeah, great.
forward, so you are currently 50 feet ahead of the landslide.
Yeah, I am.
Roll me a d6.
A 3.
A 3. You can move freely, but just like Cal, you're going to
Take
get
a 2.
hit by a rock,
Yeah.
and you get hit by a rock for 4 damage.
No.
No, I refuse.
No, I simply refuse.
And what does he say?
And well, yes, that's a very good point. And what does he say when he's hit by the rock?
That was on purpose.
And I'm just going to remind you how your healing potions work as well. That you can drink a healing potion, It will take an action to drink your whole healing potion and take the full benefit of its healing. So 4d4 plus 4 would fully heal most of you. So it's a kind of one-time thing.
Yeah.
If you want to drink, so that would give you 30 feet of movement. If you want to drink it as a bonus action, you can still dash. You can run 60 feet trying to drink a potion, but you'll roll for how much of that potion you manage to get down your gullet.
Yeah.
Radiant, we're with you. You just got clipped by a rock. It clipped me!
And no one saw it. Because I'm so far ahead. What am I going to do? Okay, I think I just need to keep going because I think I can help out when I'm back there.
So you want to take a full dash?
Yeah, I do.
You move to 200 feet.
Yeah.
And Delian.
Run.
Roll a d6.
3.
3. You can freely move, but you are going to get hit by a rock.
Fine.
For 4 damage.
Fine. 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 Yeah. Whatever.
That's what you wanted.
So you want to move 60 feet, right?
Yeah.
So you would...
Yes, I do.
I love how much you hate D&D.
I hate being tethered to the Dragonborn. I hate that I can't run fast enough.
You can let it go.
I hate that I have to. I just can't have a rest. I hate that I haven't got a glass of wine. I hate that. I hate that I'm
allowed to drink wine at the table because we spill it on our stuff and we're at work. Okay, roll me a d6, please.
A 1.
A 1. You can only take half your movement. So your movement speed is halved, so I'm going to say, rather than it like costing your action, we'll just halve the 90. So if you choose to use action, movement, and bonus action, you can move 45 feet.
Which I just do.
Which he just does, you know.
It.
So your eye is now at 165.
Roadrunner legs.
And Radiant is at?
Radiant is at 200 feet.
Okay. I'm going to just do a little... I saws it!
Morgan is going to get hit by a rock. Morgan gets hit by a rock for 3 damage. He was on 9 when he was hit.
Oh, God.
So
I'm not resting.
Just so you know,
need a
he's
rest.
going down. If he's
so
going down.
Morgan is now on 6.
It has definitely reached a point where we go, he's had enough breaks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, as in
There's only so much we can hold the boy's hand.
But exactly,
It does feel a bit Final Destination where like fate is really trying.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They're really trying to end this.
Morgan's going to dash. Morgan is going to try and get... He says, I'm still here. I'm still up.
Mate.
And he's going to run his... so he's alongside, and as incompetent as he is, he's alongside Delian.
He is next to me, but he doesn't have the umbilical cord of the Great Dragon.
You're right.
He's going to try and overtake us, and he's just going to get caught.
I mean, that's a lot of fun. We're totally doing that. You rolled a nat 20 on a dexterity. Which also means I'm probably not going to roll it for the landslide, which sucks for me. But I mean, you're for the first time you see Morgan in full flow.
Oh my God!
Like he starts to run. Like this rock clatters into the side of his face. He sort of a little spray of blood, but he keeps going, and then this fucking bungee cord hoves into view, and he hits a bit of smooth rock, puts his foot down, slides underneath it like a boxer going through ropes, and just keeps dashing forward. I'm back in the game. Dolly
has to say that.
Dolly, it's your turn.
Oh, death is imminent. I am running so fast.
Roll me a d6, please.
Come on.
A 2.
Okay.
Okay.
Dolly. Dolly. Can you roll me a dexterity saving
No, I
throw,
shan't.
please?
Dolly.
I shan't. Where's my saves? Hold on. I'm so scared. Dex. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. Oh, why did I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, the hubris.
Oh, why did I say that?
Why?
Yeah.
What is it?
A 6.
But it was a 2 on the dice.
There's a 2 on the dice.
Okay, you are knocked prone.
Oh my god.
So you are knocked down. You can use half your movement to get back up, and then you can bonus action dash, so you can still move, you can only move 45 feet.
I'll do that, please.
Okay. So Dolly moves 45
grab the
feet.
rope.
Dolly is now at 135 feet.
Okay, but how many feet?
I am going to also say that if 1, 2,
Yeah.
your rope is 50 feet long. If you get further than 50 feet, no, okay, you're tied. You just drag. Yeah, that's when the drag kicks in.
Yeah.
So the drag kicks in if you're 50 feet apart.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's slack on the line and you can't drag.
Is that what you're saying, that you get pulled faster, but you are slower? Is that how the drag works?
If she's prone or unconscious, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that is Kelnis's turn. You are at 105 feet. Roll me a d6.
6.
6. Free movement, baby.
Nice.
You can hear the roar of the black earth following you. You chance to look over your shoulder, and it's almost like a wave of darkness, like a sea coming towards you. A rock whizzes past your shoulder. You give it a little duck, and you can take all your movement freely.
Okay.
Unless you want to use an action or a bonus action to do something different.
No, I think I'm just going to run.
Okay, so you take 60 feet of movement. You are now at 160
What does that do to the rope?
feet. You and Indelian are 10 feet from each other. So
We're 10 feet from each other.
10 feet from... Yeah, you're 10 feet ahead of where she is.
Oh. Wait, no, because I had to pass her last time.
She moves before you in the initiative.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I've already rolled this. I've already done it. That's all.
Okay, so we're doing this with the rope.
Yeah, you are. And also,
I don't wanna be dragged.
Morgan is now canonically in the middle, the only person in the middle of you.
Yeah,
Because he rolled
yeah.
an 18, which means he was close to your 15,
Yeah.
and you rolled a 14. So he
So
is
do-
like,
so does
he is
he-
like, hoo, hoo.
He's
They say
dodging
he
the
has to
rope
roll every
constantly.
single
He's going to roll every single time. Yeah, he's going to roll every single time.
Yes, Morgan.
But you got a nat 20, so he'll roll the next one with advantage.
Yeah.
It's for fun. Okay.
Oh no.
On initiative 1, at the end of the round, there is a huge tremor in the mountain. Everybody roll me a strength saving throw.
Oh no.
Radiant,
3.
3. Indelian,
17.
17. Kelnis,
5.
10. 10 from I.
2.
2. Okay, so everyone apart from Indelian is prone at the start of this round.
Uh-oh.
So
That's what I wanted.
So the way prone works is you're on the floor, and in order to get back up, it's half your conventional movement. So it's 15 feet for you guys to get up, and irritatingly for me on my little grid that only has squares of 10, it's 17 and a half feet of movement. We'll call it 15.
Yeah.
For Radiant to get back up. That is the landslide's turn. Can I roll 2 nat 20s in a row?
No.
Let's see what the dice gods say.
No, you can't.
The 9. Okay, so it can still only move 40 feet. So the landslide moves to 120 feet. So that's on initiative 20. So the landslide is at 120. Radiant is at 200. Prone. And Delian is at 150 up. I didn't roll for Morgan. I didn't. Again, poor Morgan. It's a strength saving throw. He has a +3. He failed. So Indelian is at 150 up. I is at 165 prone, Morgan is at 150 prone, and Kelnis is at 160 prone. That is Radiant's turn.
Yeah, we're going. We're getting to the bottom.
Okay.
So I.
You're halfway there. as
Yeah,
well.
but that's a lot can happen.
A lot can happen.
I think if I get there first, maybe I can help in some way. So I'm going to. I'm getting down.
Okay, so you're gonna stand up using, I'm gonna say using 15 feet,
15
because I
feet,
can't
yeah.
be bothered to do 2.5 feet. So you stand up using 15 feet, which means you have 20 feet plus your dash, so you can move 55 feet.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Okay, so Radiant is now at 255 feet. Indelian, that is your turn. You are upright. Kelnis is prone. So if you run and drag him, you can... I'll tell you what you can do. You can hold your action. You can give up your point in the initiative for this round and wait to see if Kelnis gets back up. And if so, then once Kelnis is up, you could both take your movement upright, or you can just, that would be kind of chancing your arm, because if Kelnis is knocked prone again,
Yeah.
you're in the same place you're in now. So you can move now with a maximum movement of 45 feet, or you can wait and...
We're 10 feet apart. It's 50-foot length of rope, so
It's a very
there's
good
40
point.
feet
Yeah.
of
Very good, yes.
free slack.
There's 40 feet of free slack. I mean, I think for ease of it, I mean, we could calculate distance. Yeah, so I'll say you can move 50 feet. You can move 50 feet. 40 feet before the slack kicks in, and then you have 10 feet of halved movement, essentially.
I'm just gonna move.
Okay, so you move 50 feet, and Kelnis moves 10 feet. So Kelnis goes to 170, even though it's not his turn, but he's still prone. And Indelian goes to 200 feet. That is Ai's turn. You are prone, baby.
Oh, I didn't roll my...
Yeah, I was about to say, we haven't rolled a 6.
I'm so sorry,
yeah.
Nancy.
I didn't-
Oh my
I didn't
god!
wanna-
No.
Oh no, Radiant.
I didn't
Radiant
want
roll,
to-
please.
No, Ben.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do.
I didn't know if this was a mechanic.
I'll tell you what. We've started now. We'll do a round of free movement, and you all roll with disadvantage on the next round.
Okay. Great.
Yay.
I think that's how. I think that's how we'll do
D6
it.
with disadvantage
I
sounds
think
great.
that's how we'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll just have a round of free movement because DM fucked up.
Well, no, it's also because we were already prone. It was a bit like we're in a bad position.
Yeah, but you could be double prone.
I know.
Done. Face done.
Prone stacks. You bury your head in the earth like an
Yeah.
ostrich. Okay. So yeah.
So yeah, half my movement to stand up, so
15 feet.
Yeah, and then I'm going to use the rest
Use the
to...
whole lot.
so
So you can do
75.
75 feet.
Yeah.
So
Good.
you get from 165 to 240, right?
Don't ask me about maths.
That's a lot of DM math you're doing over there.
That's 65. Yeah. God, I hope so, because we added dice up wrong in the bloody rolling video. So 240. That's where we're saying I is. I, the character, not the me. Morgan is prone. Morgan's going to
Come
use
on, Morgan.
half his movement to stand up, and then he's going to... Oh, actually, I don't need to. He's going to roll, and he's going to run 45 feet. He's now at 195 feet, but no longer prone. Dolly, you're prone.
Getting up and booking it as much as possible.
Getting up and booking it.
Come on.
That is 45 feet from you, so you go from 135 feet to 180 feet. Kelnis, you are prone and tethered, but up you get.
Up I get.
Yep.
And I'm hoofing it.
45 feet gets you to 205 feet, so you overtake Delian again by 5 feet. That is the round.
Morgan?
Nah, Morgan's because
he's prone.
Morgan's ahead of everyone. Well, Dolly's at the back. So here's where we're at. Landslide at 120 feet.
Yeah.
Radiant at 255. Indelian at 200. I at 240. Morgan at 195. Dolly at 180. Indelian, Kelnis at 205. I wrote an E and I meant a K. Everyone roll me perception checks, please, including Morgan. Roll perception.
5.
5.
8? Is that a wonder?
11.
No, it's
11.
17.
17.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Radian, and Radian, what I'll do to reward that 20 is you will roll your d6 with flat.
Great.
Rather than with disadvantage on this coming round. You see it first, and Delian, you also see the bear. The bear running from the landslide and trying to skirt around the edge of the blight. And then you see one of its legs sort of give way and it stumbles into the blight behind you. And immediately its head snaps, its fur blackens, its eyes go red, and it is going to begin 10 feet ahead of the landslide, and it's booking it towards whoever's closest.
I'm sorry, we've now got a bear avalanche?
You've now got a bear.
Bear avalanche.
Bear avalanche.
Bear slide.
I thought it was going to come to our safety.
So
Couldn't
the
have
bear
just
is going
spoken
to
to it on the way
start.
up. Could have made friends with it on the way up.
Actually, I'm gonna see where the bear. Oh no, I'm gonna put the bear.
This is chaos.
Yeah, I'll put the bear there. I'll put the bear on initiative 1, so it acts last.
Oh my god.
So little bear.
So benevolent of you.
It's not a little bear.
A little black bear.
He's just a little guy.
Is at 130 feet. The landslide. Okay, so it needed a nat 20 on round 1. It needed a 19 last round. It now needs an 18 to move 10 feet quicker. That's a 15. So the landslide moves 40 feet. The landslide is now at 160 feet. It is 20 feet behind Dolly. There's also a bear 50 feet behind Dolly.
Such a bad day.
I'm having a genuinely awful time, thank you.
Dolly's like,
So,
Dolly's the new Morgan.
let me
pushing me
bring
up
up
to
my
disappear.
brown bear stats that I've got rid of, just so I know their movement speed. I believe. Did I write it down though? Oh, they're quick.
Love that for Dolly.
Love that for Dolly. That is Radiant's turn. Roll me a d6.
A 4.
A 4. Free movement.
Lovely. How far is the bear away from me?
The bear is 125 feet.
You're far.
Yeah, you're way ahead.
You're gonna be like chucking magic over your shoulder.
I am far away.
Are you looking at Firebolt?
Yeah.
I think it's 120. Yeah. That's the way them cookies crumble. It's 10 feet in front of the landslide because it must have been in it and then fallen out of it.
Because I'm going to move towards the landslide.
Amazing.
Get to safety.
Yeah, amazing.
Save yourself.
Just
Love
you
it.
only need to move
Love
5
it.
feet to be in range.
Great,
so-
I move 5 feet and then
Yep.
I fire Firebolt at the bear.
Okay, amazing. Radiant moves backwards. It's the most baller move I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Make a ranged spell attack, please.
We know how well it ended for him last time, did that?
Yeah.
D10, here we go. Watch
So
this.
you roll your d20 first.
D20, so sorry.
No, don't worry.
It will be plus 12.
12 hits. It's just a bear. It's just a bear.
It's just a
Not
demon
yet
bear.
that blighted. And now that is a D. Is it a D10 or a D12?
Yeah, a D10. It's only 3.
Okay. The brown bear takes 3 points of damage. The brown bear, and I'm going to put its max HP there. Didn't think you'd attack it at this point, so that's really cool. So it's now on that many. Amazing. That is your action. You've used 5 feet of movement. You still have 30 feet of movement left, so you could actually move 25 feet further down the mountain if you wanted to.
No.
You're going to stay where you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bold.
Anything else you want to do?
No, it's good.
Great. Endelian, roll me a d6 with disadvantage.
2.
And roll again.
Oh yeah, because it's a disadvantage.
You might roll a 1.
Yeah, well, I rolled a 2.
Okay, so you are, you roll me a dexterity saving throw, please.
So what's that?
So on your sheet there, go up to the top and then go, there's a box just to the, you're moving your finger so fast. Just to the right of that is that.
Oh yeah, my dex saving throw.
So dexterity saving throws is plus
2.
Plus 2.
Yeah.
So roll a d20, add 2.
16.
Pass it. So you are not knocked prone, you have free movement.
Oh,
You are still tethered to Kelnis.
yeah, fine.
Great.
Just move.
My choice, though. It's my choice.
Yeah, and I'm really grateful. Just run.
So I'm going to say you have a 55-foot speed because you're tethered to Kelnis. But
fine.
you make it, and you make it to 55. You make it 55 feet. I keep writing because you're tethered. I keep mixing up who's who. So you are now only 5 feet ahead of Radiant, but you're the furthest forward at this point.
Cool.
That is your turn. Roll with disadvantage.
1.
Okay, a 1. Okay.
Roll twice just in case it got worse than a
Your
1.
movement.
I don't know why I did that.
It was very
doubled
sweet.
down. It doubled down. And it
He
went,
did what he was
no,
told.
it's a 1. I'll give it to you again. It's a 1.
That is your movement halved. The ground gives way like
So it's
brittle and
45
flaky beneath
feet.
you. 45 feet is your maximum.
Just might
speed.
get
So that's
along
45, like, even if it's all of 3, it's 45.
Yeah, because I haven't said your I haven't said like your action, the like your dash action is half. I'm just saying movement
Yeah.
speed is half. The overall movement you take.
And I'm currently at 240.
You're currently at 240.
Okay. And if I was to take an action, how far would I?
You would be
I mean,
able to
because then
move
I still get my
half-
movement and my
you'd
dash,
be able to move half
but then
30
it's-
feet, so you'd move 15. You'd move 30 feet. So essentially, each of your bits of movement, your action, your movement, and your bonus action dash as a
Yep,
cunning
yep.
action are worth 15 feet when halved.
And I'm currently how many feet from the bear?
You are
I'm just
currently 110 feet from the bear. Dolly just shake. You look back to see where the bear is, and you see it loud, like over the shoulder of Dolly, who's just going, no, don't do it.
And I would move. Oh God. I feel. I look around and I look back and I see Dolly shaking. I look and see Radiant going. And I am going to fireball.
No!
Make a ranged spell attack.
Okay. 18.
18 with your pluses.
Yeah.
That hits.
Yeah.
I mean, it hits anyway. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
1d10 fire damage.
9.
9. Okay.
And then I'm going to use
your movement
bit of
and
movement.
your other thing to move 30 feet. Because you use your action to cast a spell,
30 feet.
you have cunning action, and you have your movement, so you move 30 feet. So you are now at 270 feet.
Okay. I've got a good bit of distance and I've managed to land some damage, you know? It's a win-win.
It's not nothing.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Speaking of not nothing, Morgan's going to roll with disadvantage on his d6. He rolls a 4, which would be free movement. He rolls a 1, which means he's knocked prone. Which means his movement is halved. So he has 30 feet of movement. He is just going to book it as far as he can. He's on 195, so he moves to 225. That is Dolly's turn.
Do something
Roll
great.
a d6 with disadvantage, please.
4.
Yeah, free movement.
1.
Okay, your movement is halved.
Okay. So I use my action to move, right?
Yeah.
May I use bonus action at the same time while still moving?
So you can take your movement. You can dash and then do a bonus action.
Yeah. So I've just had 2 firebolts just and I'm like ducking and weaving through them. I look at I and I look at you. Started this. So be like, you're an idiot. But it's an egg, so that's bardic inspiration.
It's an egg. What I will say is, so here's how bardic inspiration will work. You can use it on a roll of a d20, but you can also give yourself advantage on the d6 roll to get a more favourable kind of terrain situation.
So that wasn't Radiant.
So
Yes.
Radiant now has
You
bardic
did it first.
inspiration. Dolly's moved, she's now at
Sorry.
210 feet. Kelness, that is your turn. You are tethered.
Yes.
Oh,
with
Morgan didn't have to
disadvantage,
do his
right?
dex save.
Yeah.
Sod.
Yeah.
He didn't move quick enough, actually. He's not in the way.
As long as I know I'm in front of Morgan, I feel fine.
No, it's with a disadvantage. It can't get worse.
Yeah, I can't
So you roll a 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so your
You've
movement
already seen me roll
your
twice.
movement speed's halved. So you
Okay.
can only move 30 feet this round.
Well, off I go, 30 feet away.
Okay, so that puts you at 230.
Off I go.
Let's roll for the bear.
No.
This bear can dash.
Oh, can it?
Of course it can. It's a
good.
creature. It rolled a 1, so its movement's halved. So it does move 40 feet because it's a bear.
Hooray!
But like a
So
loot.
it
Because
moves
it's a bear.
to 170 feet.
Where
so
am
here is the state of play at the end of the round. The landslide is at 160 feet. Radiant is at 250 feet. Endelian is at 255 feet. I is at 270 feet. Morgan, 225. Dolly, 210. Kelness, 235. The bear is at 170. What fun thing did I have for this round?
Nothing. Continue
Okay.
going as per.
No, that was me.
So the landslide now needs a 17 to increase its movement.
Great.
And it doesn't.
That's a 14. It stays at 40 feet.
It stays it fast enough.
Okay, there is this sudden flurry of snow. This snow that's never...
Of course there is.
Of course there is. This snow that's never yet appeared on the mountainside. Can everyone roll me a Constitution saving throw, please? I'm so sorry that they don't provoke charisma saves that often.
21.
21.
21.
21.
Oh, 20.
20.
18.
18.
7.
No, it's not a 7.
And Morgan rolled a 17. So everyone passes, apart from Dolly. And also, I'm going to roll for the bear. Because the bear could fail. The bear has a
Yeah.
+3. The bear rolled a nat 1. Okay. So I'm going to say on a nat 1, the bear's movement is going to be severely limited this round.
Okay.
Dolly, you are blinded and you will roll your d6 with disadvantage for this round. I'm so pleased. This is fun. The landslide moves 40 feet. Radiant, it's your turn. The landslide is 150 feet behind you.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to shoot that sweet fireball back at the bear.
Shoot that bear. I'm going to say the bear is blinded because it failed, so you have advantage on the attack roll.
Oh, do I need to do this first, though?
Yes.
So Firebolt's a cantrip.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Firebolt you can use over and over again. So roll twice and take the highest. Because you might crit.
I got a 6.
A 6 is your highest with advantage across both.
Oh, no,
You're
no.
rolling a spell attack.
I'm rolling my the beginning of my turn.
Well done, you.
Yep.
6 free movement. Roll your spell attack. I do apologise.
No, not at all.
You think you've got a lot to keep track
Oh,
of.
yeah.
I'm so running an idiot.
My spell attack is currently 18.
See if you crit.
No, 19, sorry. And 19 again.
Okay, so you hit this bear. Roll your damage. Kel Damage.
9.
Okay. This bear is well below half health. I will tell you that. Okay. This bear is looking a bit sticky.
Okay.
That's a horrible image. And now,
how far away am I from the bear?
You are. I mean, it's too far for hypnotic gaze, I think. You are 80 feet from the bear.
Yeah, I'll shift a bit. I'll go.
Okay, so you want to use your movement
to head down the mountain.
So you move 35 feet, which means you move to 285 feet. Endalian, that is your turn. Kelnis is 20 feet behind you. So while tethered to him, let's roll your d6 and see how you do.
A 1.
A 1, okay. So your movement is halved. But that means essentially Kelnis being there now doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So if you just want to take all your movement, that's 30 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 30 feet. 255, you move to 285, which is alongside Radiant, in fact. That is your turn. You're at 270 feet. The landslide is at 200, the bear is at 170, Dolly is at 210. Roll a d6, please.
A 1 again? We've rolled so many ones.
You have halved movement, so you have 45 feet maximum movement.
Which I'm going to take all of it in this moment.
So you move from 270 to 305. We've broken the 300 now. You're 95 feet from safety.
Yeah.
So you are one good round from being 5 feet away from Outhouse. Okay, Morgan. Morgan rolled 5.
Hey.
So Morgan's just going to run his entire thing. I am still here. He's now at 285, so he's alongside Endelian and Radiant. Dolly, that's your turn. You are rolling with disadvantage on this d6.
6.
Yes.
Just another good one.
5.
Free movement, finally.
Oh, God.
Sorry to everyone who's doing the audio for me shouting that so loud into the mic.
I did run all the feet, please. Choppy hands the whole
feet.
way.
You are only 15 feet behind the others now.
Okay.
Kelnis, that is your turn. Roll a d6, please.
And I'm not rolling with disadvantage this time?
No, you're just rolling flat because you all passed your con save. 5. Free movement. Excellent.
Take me with you.
Take me wherever you're going. I want help. I love the rope. I want the help.
The get-along rope.
So, 1, 2, 3,
Friends who rope to get this day together.
Yeah, I'm going to say that you could move 55 feet and you would drag Endelian 5 feet with you. Is that what you'd like to do?
Yeah.
Okay. So Kelnis and then Endelian. You get. You just got. Does it
give her some momentum? Does it give her a few extra feet?
Yeah. It gives her 5 feet.
Yeah,
So
it's
she's
like
dragged along the
I'm
way.
walking a Saint Bernard and you've seen a squirrel, and I've just gone.
She's dragged along to where you are. That is then the bear's turn. The bear failed its Constitution saving throw. I'm going to say it's going to roll its d6 with disadvantage. It gets a 3 and a 5, so it will take the 3. It can only take half movement, which means it can only move 40 feet, which is going to take it to 210 feet. And it is also going to take 4 points of bludgeoning damage from a rock. It's really not looking very well now, this poor bear, which is wearing a little red jumper. It's just wearing a little
Let me
red
guess,
jumper.
and it likes honey.
Yeah, and it loves honey. For legal reasons, it loves jam.
And it's not friends with a pig.
No, it hates pigs. Okay. Oh, I put these rounds in before without knowing what they were going to do.
Oh no.
At the end of this round, the landslide is going to roll a d4 and it's going to move forward that many feet times 10. It just takes it just gathers some momentum and it's going to move forward an extra 20 feet.
I want to do science and maths.
Don't worry, I'll cover you. The bear is now overtaken by the landslide. So the bear, you see as the bear gets hit by the landslide, it fails a strength saving throw, and it is going to take I rolled a 3 across 2d6. It takes 3 points of damage. But you can see it sort of... Oh, it should have only taken 1d6. I'm sorry, it takes 1 point of damage because it is blighted. Don't worry about that. The bear is overtaken by the landslide. If you get hit by the landslide, you move along with it until you can right yourself. You move along at the front of it. You're not going to go further back. That is the landslide's turn. So what's it on now? It now needs a 16 to increase its movement speed. That's a 17. It increases its movement speed. But it goes back to... So it now has 50 feet of movement, but it now needs a 20 again to ever increase that.
Great.
So the landslide moves 270 feet. Dolly, roll me a strength saving throw.
Oh god. 12.
It's a DC. That passes. This is meant to be there's meant to be a way of getting out of this one. You feel the landslide behind you. It moves. You feel the ground starts to go underneath you. Rocks start to pummel into you, but you're able to just about maintain your composure, and you can still move. You're not knocked prone. That is Radian's turn. The landslide is 10 feet behind you.
I know. And so at 10 feet, that would mean it's going to move.
It's going to move 50 feet.
And even if I do an action and then move, it's going to...
It could hit, it'll hit you.
Okay, then I have to move.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you take full, so roll a d6. In any event, the d6 still counts.
The d6. I got, what did I get? What was that? It was a 1.
Okay, so your movement is half.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm getting that.
So you can move 35 feet, which takes you from 285 to 320, which means you will be rolling a strength save.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I think something's going to happen. Endelian, that is your turn.
A 2.
A 2. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
16 plus 2 dex. Yeah.
Passes. You have free movement.
Then I'm moving.
Okay.
I'm taking my get-along friend with me.
You're alongside Kelnis, so I'm going to say you can move 55 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all of it.
So you move from 290 to 345.
Cool.
And Kelnis, you move to 295.
She drags me along.
She drags you.
We're just doing this yo-yo thing.
Yeah. I don't know if this has helped, but it's been fun and confusing.
I mean, it's certainly not held us back.
Roll me a d6.
A 6.
A 6, free movement.
Absolutely books it. Gets 5 feet away.
I is 5 feet from safety.
Okay, first and down. Nice.
Morgan rolls a 3. Morgan's going to get...
Okay.
Oh, Morgan's going to get hit by a rock again, and Morgan
You've got
has 6 HP. These rocks do a 1d6. No! Morgan goes down.
No!
I swear.
He's dead for the 3rd time today.
No, we're leaving him. We're leaving him.
He's gone down again.
I didn't want...
Morgan goes down. And I'm thinking, I now have to figure out how the hell I handle death saves inside He's going to automatically
avalanche.
fail. He's going to take two death fails per round.
Quick, firebolt the landslide.
Oh my gosh.
Quick.
Morgan.
We have a fiery landslide.
Well, hang on. He moves.
With the landslide.
But he can still run.
Oh.
So he moves. I'm going to roll.
How can he run if he's down?
Well, because technically I haven't ever specified when the rock hits, at what point in your action. I've said you're running and it hits you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a d6, and that times 10 is how many feet he gets before he got hit by the rock and goes down. So again, this time he wants to roll high. He rolled a 6 again.
Okay.
So Morgan goes 60 feet and then goes down. So Morgan goes from 285 to 245, 345. 285 to 345. Yes, that makes sense. So he is where Endelion is and is unconscious.
So I can't pass him my rope.
No, you could get
and take it as like a daisy chain of people.
But to remind, so I'm going to say Endelion, you are next to him. So as a bonus action, you could give him a greater healing potion.
Yeah, couldn't I?
I'm just letting you all know what you're able to do. As
I'm a big fan of Morgan.
As Endelion leaves him for dead. Dolly, roll a d6, please.
Okay. 2.
Okay, roll a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay.
You're having no luck at the moment.
19.
Passes, you have free movement.
Yeah, all of that movement.
You
please.
sure? You sure?
Yeah, I think I'll run.
You don't want to stick
I think
around
I'll
and find
run.
out?
Yep.
Okay, you move to 230 feet.
What, 330?
Yeah, sorry, you move backwards 50 feet.
Let's go back later.
Find the body.
Well, that's your turn. You are at 295. Roll a d6.
A 1.
A 1. You have half movement.
I'm sorry.
So you can only move 30 feet.
But I can take an action and move?
In that case, you could only move 15 feet.
I'm just going to move.
Okay. So you move 30 feet, you move from 290 to 325. That keeps you out of the landslide by 5 feet. That is the bear's turn. The bear starts its turn inside the thing, and it's going to take 1d6. The bear is on death's door. It's going to roll a strength. It should have rolled. Yeah, no, it failed. Where are we? The bear.
What news of the bear?
What news of the bear? Let me see if it can get out. I'm going to give. Okay, roll a 2. It definitely doesn't get out. The bear is moved along with the landslide and moves almost unconscious 60 feet. That is the end of the round. And at the end of that round, everyone who passed their Constitution saving throws, so that is Radian and I, roll 1d4.
3. 2.
Okay. More snow blows in, but it blows in from high on the mountain. It hits all of you, but it's not as thick. But it is blighted snow. So you take 3 and 2 points of necrotic damage from the snow. It's a mild one. Mm-hmm. And also it's the only situation in which the blight's good. That is the landslide's turn. It's going to see if it can roll a nat 20 to increase.
It better not.
A 10. Did you see the 0 at the end?
I did.
Okay, so the landslide moves 50 feet, which puts it Radian. I'd like you to roll me a strength saving throw at the start of your turn, please.
That's with
a d20.
D20, thank you. 17.
Passes. You are not, just like Dolly did, you're not caught up in the snow, in the landslide. You don't take any damage. Roll a d6, please, if you would.
I will.
And also, I would like
3.
to remind you that you have Bardic Inspiration. So you could choose. So that 3 means you have free movement, but you'll take some damage. But you can always use your Bardic either to re-roll a d20 or to roll a d6. Just to let you know. You still have free movement at this point.
And it would be with advantage, wouldn't it? I've got free movement, but I'd take some damage. Is that correct?
You got free movement, but you take some damage. If you want to use your Bardic, I would say that you could re-roll that, and that would be your use of the Bardic. It's whether or not you're bothered about the damage.
I'm going to be bothered about the damage in a bit, but right now I'm just going to go
70 feet.
Yeah.
You move to 390 feet. And Delian, roll me a d6.
How much damage do I take, by the way?
You don't take any. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. Yes, well done. Thank you. You take 5 points of damage.
It's okay. Nearly there.
I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2. Roll me a dexterity saving throw. As the ground starts to
Oh,
fracture.
it's 20.
Super passes. You have free movement. Kelnis is 20 feet behind you, so you can move 40. You can move 50 feet.
Yeah.
Dragging Kelnis.
Yes.
So, Endelian, you move to
395.
391. Yeah.
85.
1, 2, 3, 4. Did I say you could move 50 feet?
Yeah.
5. You move to 395. And Kelnis, you move to 345. Oh God, I wrote the wrong letter again. God, that's annoying. Okay. I roll a d6.
5.
Free movement. You are 10 feet away.
Yeah, so I'm going to step over that line.
So what you see is it's like a kind of there's a kind of the pass kind of deviates off, and you are able to kind of jump off.
So
to the
what
side.
I would like to do then is, because if I can just use my bonus action dash to get around there, I would like to use. I've got that movement, but I've got
regular
that
movement.
Yeah. So what I use my movement on that. What I want to do then is I want to have a look back behind me, and I would like to first of all see if use my action to see if there's anything advantageous or like that I could point out to anyone, and then use my bonus action to give help to Dolly and a call out of anything.
Help is an action.
That was an action. Okay.
I'm not sure if you're allowed to use cunning action to use help. I think you can only dash, disengage, and hide using cunning
Okay.
action.
In that case, then I would literally just like to give help to Dolly.
Great.
And then.
So you get over the line. You are out of danger. I cannot be hit. Dolly, you will roll your d6 with advantage when you next roll. As
How do you help? What do you think?
What are you shouting out?
I look back and I go, run, Dolly, run!
You can do it!
I don't know what I've been doing this entire time.
You is even swifter than a bear!
That is that is Morgan's turn. Morgan rolls. Oh, it's a death saving throw for Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan is down. Morgan rolls a 13. That's a pass. But Morgan is out. Morgan is prone.
And he's been left behind.
He's unconscious.
Oh, yeah, I
He's at
didn't do anything.
345 feet.
No, I didn't either.
No.
Kelnis, you're next to him, so you could. Dolly, you're 20 feet behind him, so you also could.
Why is the unconscious person still in front of me?
Roll a d6, please. Let's see what happens.
Swifter than a bear,
With
not as a
advantage.
body.
It's a 3. A 2.
Okay, so you have free movement, but you will take some damage.
Probably okay.
You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
It's fine. It's fine. Free movement, please.
Right. So, and you are just going to leave Morgan behind.
I'm gonna hop over him. Sorry.
Okay. You get to 390
chances.
Yeah, he has had multiple chances.
How many?
390.
Yes.
Kelnis, you are next to the unconscious body of Morgan. Roll me a d6.
6.
Free movement.
Bye, Morgan.
No way.
No, mate.
He has a mini.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
has a
true.
mini.
That's
It is such a cool
It's such a cool mini.
So?
we can get to the end and then maybe help him.
Yeah, surely his lifeless
Yeah,
body.
how good-
Like,
I've
what
got-
a landslide
loads
will
of
Here's
come
how
to a...
just so those of you who don't know, who haven't played before. So when you're unconscious, you automatically fail any saving throw, any dexterity or strength saving throw. Every time you take damage when you're at 0 HP, it's 2 death fails. So he is 2 rounds of movement away from being dead forever.
Yeah.
That is, unless you're going to take your full movement.
I can only do that if I can only do 60 feet if I don't take an action. If I take an action, I can move 30 feet.
Yes.
Kill you.
But yeah, it's an action to make an unconscious person drink a potion.
Do I have to make them drink? Can I cast a spell?
You can cast a spell.
Can I cast Cure
I'll be able to
Wounds?
touch him.
You have to be able to touch
I'm
him.
standing
Just
near
totally
him,
fine. You're
all
standing
right?
next to him. So so you can move 30 feet and cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, I'll do that.
This would just be a phenomenal run past and just carry on running.
Okay.
Get up.
Be well.
So what does he recover? Is it 2d6 or something for first level Cure Wounds?
1d8 plus 4.
1d8 plus 4. Not as good as I thought.
If he still goes down again after this.
I'm not.
Honest to God.
7.
7 total. 7 total. So he now has.
For the third time.
No, I've had enough! I've had enough!
I'm gonna feel this in the morning.
So you move 30 feet, Kel, which takes you to 375 feet. The bear. You don't see the bear emerge. Just cross that column off.
Just the odd flash of a little red jumper.
For a brief moment, I thought you meant that was an element of threat. Like, you don't see it emerge. It does, but you don't see it.
You don't see
Casts
it.
greater invisibility. Those of you who are still on the track, please roll me dexterity saving throw. So that's everyone apart from I.
Oh, it's a nat 1.
Okay, that one from Indelian.
11.
11. 5.
8.
You'll fail.
This is in good company.
Everyone takes. All these little chasms open up, and you all take 3 points of damage. You've fallen down a little chasm, 10 feet. So I'm going to say it's going to take you 10 feet to climb out.
Oh my God.
So your movement is reduced by 10 feet.
I looked back around the corner, up the hill, and just sees everyone's gone.
Whatever.
Where did they go?
So the landslide moves to 370 feet, which means Morgan is still in it. Everyone else is just about out. Kel is 5 feet ahead of it. Radian, that is your turn.
Okay.
You roll a d6, please.
Has it done its as the
Well, it hasn't.
done its thing?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I know
If it
I
rolls a
keep
19, then Kel's in it. Roll a 14. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Just want to play fair.
A bit of peril.
Just want to remind the teacher I've done my homework.
That is a 4.
Okay, so you have free movement.
Free movement.
I mean, you can get out.
Great. I want to get out.
Yeah. So you can, in fact, you can climb out.
climb
for
out.
10, and then you still have 25 feet, and you're
and I'm
only
gonna get
10 feet from it.
So I'm going to get to safety, and then I'm going to offer help to Dolly again.
Okay. So Dolly has advantage
guys.
on her d6. Indelian, that is your turn. 1d6, please.
Wait, how do you help?
I go, sorry about the firebolt.
I rolled a 3.
Okay, so you can move freely, but you will take 1d6 worth of.
So one set of movement for me is 30 feet, 10 out,
Yeah.
and I'm at 395, so
Yeah,
that'll
you're
take me
over.
out.
You're over.
So I'm over, which gives me one more a bonus action.
I guess so. Yeah.
So I'm
why
going
not?
to rope from around my hand,
Yeah.
and don't know how much you weigh, but I can push, drag, lift 540 pounds.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a big old heave ho. I'm gonna see how.
Okay, roll me a. Let's roll. I mean, this should really be an action, but it's fun. So let's say roll me a d6, and we'll divide it by 2, and that is how many feet you're able to drag him with a bonus action.
Okay, I rolled 2.
Okay, so you drag him 10 feet. So you drag Kelnis 10 feet closer, and you also take 1 point of bludgeoning damage from a rock that hit you in the head.
Oh, whatever.
That is Morgan's turn.
Wait for this long rest.
Morgan
7 hit points now.
Morgan has to make a strength saving throw.
No, he doesn't.
Morgan.
I've told you all.
He fails.
Morgan.
So he's prone.
Morgan.
And he takes 5 bludgeoning damage. But because he failed, so he's okay for
You
the
could have been
blight.
over the line. Do you see what I mean? Like if you hadn't stopped.
He has
I
2
would have felt
HP.
terrible about myself
And
forever.
he's gonna use his movement to go 30 feet,
He's in character at least.
which gets him out by 5 feet. He's not currently in the landslide.
Okay.
But he probably will be next time. Dolly, that's your turn.
So I'm in the chasm, right?
You're in the
Oh, I
chasm.
need to
I'll roll a d6, please.
Come on, Dolly.
So you could be prone.
Come
in
on,
the chasm.
Dolly.
You get advantage because of Radiant, right?
Yeah.
Advantage. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. 4,
Come on, Dolly.
I mean, you already got free movement.
1. Okay,
Great.
thank God.
Okay, so 10 feet to get out.
Yeah, and then I'm like 10 feet away, aren't
You're
I?
10 feet away.
Can I get out? I can get
Yeah,
out.
you can get out.
I'm
Dolly gets out.
It's like a dive over the line.
So you remember you haven't used your bardic inspiration.
I haven't, no.
So you still have it. It's just very important that you remember that you still have it.
Great.
While it occurs to me. Great, Dolly, you climb out.
Yeah. I still have my bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Listen, we're dragging his ass this far. I'm going to cast Healing Word on Morgan. Let's just get him over the line.
Okay, he gets 1d4 plus your spell casting, something like that.
Something. Hold on, let me just get my spells up.
It's probably really good.
Where are we at? Just make sure that I still have the slot left as well. Yeah, it's 1d4 plus 3.
Okay. I can roll it.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. 3 plus 3 is 6. So he gets healed for 6. He has 8 HP. Kel, what do you want to do?
I'm in the chasm, aren't I?
You are in the chasm, so roll me a d6.
Yeah. 4.
4, free movement. So you can use 10 feet to climb out the chasm.
Climb out.
You have 50 feet remaining, and you're only 15 feet from it. So you can actually. Right.
Like a mirror cat.
Right, Kel's out. Okay, so you guys are all out.
Oh my god.
And you see the.
Wait, I can still run, can't I?
So
you're out.
You got out.
Oh, but I thought the 10 feet was out of the chasm.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay in?
Sorry, I sort of assumed you'd want to get out of the landslide.
Yeah, he's still here.
Yes, I do. Okay.
So 10 feet to
that's
get
what you
out,
meant
and
by
then
out.
you have like 20 feet of your movement left. You are only 15 feet from 400, so you
Okay.
can just use that to run ahead of it, and you're out.
Yeah, cool.
As you see at the top of the next round, this landslide hoves past, like slides past you. I'm gonna have Morgan. I'm gonna have Morgan roll an athletics check. He rolls a nat 20 on an athletics check. He dives out of the moving landslide. And just as he does, you see this bear go sliding down the mountain. And you look around you, you see that only a few feet over the landslide kind of loses its momentum. It stops, and the land around you is green. The flowers are in bloom, the fruit is on the vine. And that's where we'll end our session. Thank you so much for watching, listening, imbibing, another verb. That was session 2 of Natural 6. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you again for more adventures in Reliquiae very, very soon indeed. Bye, everyone.
D&D, baby!
I leans down and just pats Morgan on the head.
This has been an awful day.